Welcome back to Tea and Toasties. I'm one of your hosts, Sabrina.
And I'm Rich. I'm the other one.
And welcome to episode 44.
44.
44, room for one more.
Oh, that was... Did you just come up with
Pretty
that?
freaking good, eh?
Dang, dude.
Figured you'd like that one.
Love that. All right, I won't pitch mine.
Yeah.
Mine was... No, we'll stick with that.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the one more today, we have a guest episode, guys. Finally, another one.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a good friend, good buddy in the studio. Jack is here.
Hey. How's it
Hey,
going?
it's Jack. Woo!
Jackson, Juckbuck, whatever
That's
you
right.
feel.
Oh, I was going to ask.
Yeah, I mean, you can call me whatever. I'm not picky.
Anything.
Yeah.
Most things.
Loser.
Oh, yeah. That's a good place to start.
I was wondering that laying in bed last night. How am I going to intro our guest tomorrow? Because I call you Jack.
Right.
Aaron calls you Jack. Some people call you Jackson. And I'm like, which one does he prefer?
That was it. That was my very first question. You beat me to it.
Well, I think a lot of times it's just based on when people met me in our respective lives. Like growing up, I was Jack.
Yep.
But then like in middle school, this other kid named Jack moved to town and he was like really cool. And everyone was like, okay, well, your name is Jackson and his name's Jack and he's really cool. So you got to go by Jackson. And it was cool.
Wow, rebrand.
A little bit. And I mean, also, this was like also a college thing too when I had like the fade and the contacts and yeah, up to no good.
Contacts. Oh, like you're not wearing glasses.
Not wearing glasses.
I thought you had like colored contacts.
No,
like you were wearing.
I don't have any connections
for a phase.
No.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it's like Aaron calls you Jack. It'd be weird if I was like, yeah, and Jackson. And he's like,
Suddenly
his name
weigh
is
in.
Jack.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
me calling you something different.
People ease into Jack over time. I think with Aaron, it's just because we knew each other at such a young age.
Yeah.
He defaults to that because that's how he met me.
Yeah. Well, great segue. How the hell do you connect to the pod? Well, I mean, you know Aaron.
Right.
The pod knows Aaron, friend of the pod.
We know him. We love him.
We know him and we love him. Y'all know him. You love him.
Yeah.
Let's just start there. Let's go. Like, when did you guys meet? I want to know. Little babies.
So
backstory.
Yeah. So I mean, Aaron is a couple years older than me. He's in the same grade as my older sister. He was more into like the baseball scene for a little bit.
Right.
Did sports and stuff. I did a little bit of that, but I was pretty bad at all of them. But my parents realized it was because I was blind, so they got me glasses and stuff like that.
Just to fix that.
Yeah, well, they're like, there's no way he's just bad.
Yeah.
Right, because that would be
He's just not
devastating.
seeing the ball.
Right, exactly. I just wasn't seeing the bigger picture,
Right.
you know?
Get him the glasses and he'll go pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing missing.
Exactly. But I mean...
Did it help, the glasses?
Like a little bit, but at that point, I had already pivoted into self-competition sports, running, cross-country track. Aaron and I were on the cross-country team together for a bit, but we met before that. Probably we hung out a little bit when I was in middle school because he was friends with some of my friends. But we really kind of started connecting probably around my 8th grade, 9th grade year.
Okay,
and we just kind of hung out at a friend's house who had a drum kit.
Nice.
And we would just get Guitar World magazine and geek out over that, and then there'd be tabs in the back of the magazine where we learn songs, and so we just started off just kind of playing Avenged Sevenfold, Under Oath covers, but our taste in music was very different at that time, for sure. But we kind of bonded over just the geekery, the guitar stuff.
Well, how did you get into music then?
Yeah, so I mean, primarily it started off 3rd grade. I started playing guitar.
Yeah,
I have a little bit of a musical background. My dad was in a Beatles cover band called the Roaches for a little bit.
Oh, love that. Love that.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. And so,
which one was he?
Which one was he? He was whichever Beatle was on the left.
I couldn't tell.
I think it was George.
It could be George. I mean, he was a John fan. And, I used to get comparisons a lot to John Lennon.
Right. I can see that. Jesus.
I was just going to say that's so funny because still you and Aaron specifically get John and whatever the other one is.
Paul.
People always say that. Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Certain pictures I posted of you guys, they're they look like them.
Something's going on. Yeah,
so it's
something's
hilarious
in the water, for sure.
That your dad was in a Beatles cover band.
Yeah,
that's
so
fun.
He did that kind of stuff growing up. And my Uncle Dale, he passed when I was pretty young. He was really heavily involved in the beach music scene, which was this really big subgenre in North Carolina back in the 60s. It's kind of had that wall of sound thing, but it was all about take your best gal down to the beach and swing around and round type stuff.
Like surf rock or more like
it was more like I don't want to say it's like Beach Boys type stuff because the Beach Boys had more of like that LA like sleazeball
right. What's the shag dance everyone's always doing? So music that you'd shag to.
For sure, yeah.
Different meanings for English people.
English shag.
Yep. Right, exactly. I mean, there was probably some overlap there, right?
Right.
Shagging leads to shagging.
Exactly.
Yep.
Shag Square.
Shag Square.
Yeah, but he had some songs like "That's Summertime to Me," "She's Too Pretty to Cry," which is like a toxic anthem. It sounds like.
All right.
It's like, what makes you beautiful? You're insecure.
So I grew up like in a pretty like musical adjacent household.
Right.
Everyone else in my family went more like the sports route, but with my eyesight and just like my friend group, I was around a lot. I just had way more of an interest in the musical side of stuff, and so
cool.
Yeah. Started off kind of listening to similar stuff like what Aaron was listening to with like indie stuff, Arctic Monkeys, Strokes, things like that.
Ooh, love that.
As I got more into like high school and stuff like that, I switched more into like the really heavy, like hardcore, metalcore, Warped Tour type stuff. Yeah, so I just kind of like jumped around in genres a lot.
Nice.
And I tend to try and like challenge myself to listen to things not that I hate necessarily, but like I try to go out of my way to like listen to things that challenge me, and I feel that kind of encourages me to create from a more like open space.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just sounds like you had the same just like creative brain.
Yeah.
Right.
For
sure. Aaron kind of has as well.
Yeah. I think we both got that similar like what's the word I'm looking for? Sauce. I don't know if that's the right word.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, je ne sais quoi. Yeah, we have a similar understanding of the immaterial element of creativity.
Right.
I think Aaron definitely approaches it from a very structured and analytical sort of perspective, where for me it almost is like I have to like stumble into it to create something.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of finds you.
Right.
That makes
to an
sense.
extent. Like the best stuff I create is just like me getting out of my own way.
Yeah.
I think that like kind of complements our like collaborative style as
Nice.
well. Because it's like I can bring in like a little like something a little more out there to like something that he has a structure for.
Right.
And like vice versa, he can like bring some of my more
yeah,
extreme ideas down to like a more palatable sort of listening experience.
And then when you put it all together, it just works.
It just pops off. Yeah,
very similar to our symbiotic working relationship.
That's it. Yeah, you can't be the same.
You're so structured, and I'm just like meh, and I'll bring you back down to earth sometimes, but you'll bring me out of my stuff. All that stuff. It's the same.
Yeah, it's like the whole goals and no goals thing.
Okay,
that's it. So what I'm kind of interested. First of all, we'll get to let's stay with Aaron. So what was he like?
I plan to.
What was he like? Has he changed? I mean, you've known him for so long, right? So eighth grade. How old is that?
I was like probably like 13 or 14.
13, 14.
When we first started like hanging out on a substantial level.
Right.
And he was a couple years older than me, so he was in college by the time I was like wrapping up my high school experience. In high school, he's like always been like the creative type,
right,
and everything, the sensitive type,
maybe,
some would say.
Jesus.
But I mean, I think he's just like, as we've grown older, I can sense he's come more into his own like understanding of himself, and he allows himself to like explore his reality in a way that's like authentic to himself, as opposed to maybe approaching things from a place of like other people's perspective.
I get you.
For sure.
He's living his own life for himself.
Exactly.
He's very headstrong in that way, and I think that term sometimes gets a bad rap. But I think that
knowing yourself is a good thing.
Knowing yourself, he's got integrity.
In like
that's
a lot
the
of ways,
word.
for sure.
With like everything.
For example, in the band dynamic, it's a lot of situations where early on he may have been like a little reserved about expressing certain things, but now it's like at a point where he knows he can like be like straight up with me, sometimes come at me from like a really raw, unfiltered sort of perspective about something, and understands that we can like work out after the fact, sit through like some of the rawness of it. Right. So if he's like, you're messing this up, or like you need to do this, he knows he can express it to me in a raw way that I'm not gonna like take offense to.
Right. Well, that comes with time, right? Like you guys known each other for so long, and you know each other's little quirks and bits and pieces,
right?
So you can cut through all the bullshit and just say, here's what I'm thinking, and you can take a bit of criticism or whatever, both ways, and then just think of the greater the end product is the music that you're working on.
Right, exactly. There is a degree of professionalism to that, which sometimes I think when people think professionalism, they're not always thinking like just being like kind of like blunt and everything like that. Because I think in a lot of fields like that like loses brownie points.
Yeah.
But in like the music industry and like this sort of environment, you don't always have the time to like sugarcoat what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's just more so about like you have to learn how to like navigate those sorts of like intense interactions without it becoming this whole like issue of like this hurt my feelings or something.
Yeah. I also think a lot of time you're doing a disservice to not be straight up.
Absolutely.
And you're wasting time, like you said, just getting to the point. Like just say what you need, what needs to be said, and what's going to get this done quicker, or what's going to
improve this thing we're working on.
And then you hope the person receiving the info is also understanding of that too, so they can put the feelings aside and see the bigger picture along with you.
Yeah, not shutting you down.
Yeah.
And to go off of like what you were saying, it's like people have a tendency to soften the impact of what someone's telling them for the sake of their own like ego maybe, or like their sensitivities. So sometimes if you soften up what you're trying to say too much, they're not really receiving what it is they need to get out of the interaction.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like if you need to change up what you're doing and you're like, that's great, but maybe it'd be different.
Right.
What they're gonna get from it is like, that was great.
They said it was great.
Maybe you could do something different, but it's just like so great.
Exactly.
You don't have to. It's just great the way you do it. When it's not.
Yeah.
So if you're straight up, you're pushing each other.
Yeah. It comes with time, and like you mentioned, Aaron and I have like played music together for so long, like in our different groups, but also collaboratively, to the point where we do have a inherent like psychic understanding of each other's like approach. But also it's become this sort of relationship where it is like we have the ability to be that open with each other, and we know it's not going to be like something that's going to be detrimental to our connection.
Right. So you've got this unspoken. You can just look at each other and just go, right, I think it should move in this way. Or, But then when you need to be straight up, you can do that too.
Yeah, and it's just like just because we're being blunt or whatever, it ain't that deep.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
At the end of the day, it's from a place of just trying to get out of our own way and serve the song.
Perfect. Yeah, I love
and just your relationship as a whole in general. I mean, the way Aaron's described you before, he said you're like a brother.
Yeah.
To him. And like that's the good way to describe it. Like you can be straight up to a brother, you know.
Oh yeah.
But you also there's that understanding that like you love each other to the core.
Absolutely.
And so it's like anything else past that is fine.
Exactly. If you have that as the root.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do and say, you know, within reason.
Of course.
Yeah.
But you've always got that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Do you look at Aaron as an older brother kind of deal?
Yeah, to an extent. You know, I think we've really seen each other grow and develop.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
How cool's that?
It's really cool. You know, it's funny. You know, he saw me when I was rocking like the Bieber cut back in high school. Like when I had, you know, the fade and stuff in college. And then when I went all like full blown like granola man like, towards the end. So he's seen all these different phases of my life. And I him. So it's like being able to see people in all those different distinct stages. Yeah. And also like still be able to pick out the core of like their individual.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's like, it's funny because it's like, you can see all the stuff moving around. It'd be like at the end of the day, it's like, that's bro. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
So you've seen each other grow and change along the way.
For sure. Yeah. I remember when he first grew his mustache.
Okay.
Oh,
let's hear about that.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen it. You know what it's all about. It's one of those decisions. It's not just Aaron. It's just like, I think like the masculine plight maybe of like, once you grow it, there's like a point where like, it's kind of hard to shift back.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
He did it recently, just kind of like out of nowhere for fun.
How did that go?
And I was like, what?
What, trimmed it?
He cut it all off, shaved it all down.
I didn't
shaved
see,
it completely.
really?
You probably didn't see it. Only lasted for like one shave cycle, basically.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I kind of like it. And I was like, it's fine. You know,
Yeah.
Of course I was like,
yeah.
It's just facial hair. It's not a big deal. But I was like, I definitely prefer the mustache. Actually, the end all decision where he asked me if I wanted the mustache back or say like this. And I said, I think the mustache, not even really for looks, because it feels weird. I never kissed him without the mustache. And it felt it felt like I was kissing like just
something
like,
was missing,
like a butt or something. You know what I mean? You know, like
right.
just skin on skin. It felt so weird. I was like, I don't like that sensation very much.
It feels like a little juvenile, maybe.
Yeah, it just felt strange. I was like, I don't like that.
Okay.
So
get that tash back.
That back.
Yeah.
I need a little something extra going on.
Well,
right.
I will say, if Aaron's listening to this, I think you're very handsome with or without your mustache.
Hey, I do too. I never.
All right. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's just like one of those connections that just goes deeper than the music and time and everything like that.
Sweet. And then you also, so you mentioned you got an older sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
And any other siblings?
No other siblings. So I have an older sister. She lives in Spain right now with her husband and their little baby.
Where?
It's he trains bomb dogs for the military. And so,
All right.
So he's stationed over there. They've lived in Japan. They've lived in Spain. He's been in Bahrain before.
Right.
Doing like border stuff.
Nice.
Okay.
So chill enough, dude. I like him.
Chill enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my
That's
sister,
all you can ask for.
Well, it's like my sister and I are really similar where we have really intense and distinct personalities. And so I think we are like the types of people that can be very challenging to share like intimate space with.
I know a thing or two.
And like
about
being
that.
like a, partnership with. And that's not like speaking ill of either of us because I think we're great people and really humble.
Of course.
Too,
and humble, yeah.
But every relationship's a challenge. But she and I are very similar but very different in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Different perspectives, but we approach things in like really similar ways.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're close?
Yeah, I would say so. We've gotten closer as we've gotten older, older sister, younger brother dynamic. So definitely some like roughhousing when we were younger.
Oh, really? She beat you up?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, like, I think that she would probably, I think her feelings about her are probably not in proportion with like the severity of what it was. It's just like typical like sibling stuff.
Everything you're saying is like, spot on.
You got a brother.
The debate is still out. Who's older?
Yeah.
The truth will never be revealed.
Yeah, it's none of my business anyway.
But no, it's the same thing. Just that brother sister thing, and we used to beat the shit out of each other.
Right.
And then now we're like besties, and same thing. We have the same brain, sort of, but we're so different. So fucking similar at the same time.
Yeah.
I can just look at him and be like, I read you like a book.
Right.
I know exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. Even before you do, maybe sometimes because you're me.
I can predict your moves.
Yes.
I know where you're going.
I see myself in you.
So would you say that y'all have gotten closer as you've gotten older?
100%. Yeah. Because we had we were besties growing up, and then we had that period, kind of middle school, high school, where we were at each other's throats. But we had the same friend group because we were so close in age, and I was dating one of his friends, all messy. So we were forced to hang out. But then as we got older, after basically we went through some fucked up shit together.
It helps.
We had shared trauma, multiple
yeah.
different shared traumas, and then we were like, okay, let's get real. Like, we only have each other. It's just us at the end of the day. Like, if we can be in it together or not, we'd rather be in it together.
Yeah.
And now it's like a bestie vibe where like instead of going to mom and dad, he can call me up and be like, hey, this happened. And I'm a non-judgmental piece of advice.
Yeah.
So
it's beautiful. Sure. Yeah. Love it.
Enough about me though.
Back to the guest.
I think it is important to maintain those connections with family, specifically siblings, whenever you can, because at a point it's really just going to be y'all.
Yeah.
Obviously, people's dynamics are different, but if you have the opportunity to like squash beef and like get things into a healthier state, like I think it's always important to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Because my outlook is always like the one person in your life that's probably going to know you the best. Similar, they're not your parent.
Yeah.
They're not your partner. They're not your friend. They're not your all these other people you have close relationships with. This is like no one can touch this.
Something unique, right?
Yeah, there's this link that you'll never have with anyone else. Yeah. So why not get the most out of that relationship?
Because they've known you for, forever.
Yeah.
And they've experienced all the family
and you have shared
together.
DNA.
Yes.
You're never going to be more similar to another person.
Exactly. I get it.
Yeah, you got brothers.
I got brothers. I was just wondering, you're one of two, both of you, right? I'm middle of three boys. I just wondered if
says a lot.
Huh?
It says a lot.
Yeah, right. So I was just wondering if, like, being part of a two, you have no other choice. It's the two of you, so you have a better, stronger connection. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know if it's like stronger so much as it's like different.
Right.
I think we talk about like the dynamic of children and siblings. I think a lot of times when there's two, there's like pressure for someone's got to be successful in the career. Someone's got to have the family, you know, whatever.
True.
No mistakes.
Right.
Whereas with 3 siblings, I don't want to speak on your sibling dynamic.
You go.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
But I will
It'd
say,
be interesting then.
It's an efficient way to have children in the sense you can have one kid that's the career success.
The odds are
you have
greater.
the one that gives you the grandchildren, then you have the one who can do whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering which.
It's-
Well, I'm not the grandchildren one.
Me and Alex were both like, are you going to, are you?
Who's doing
Who's
this?
doing the things?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, who's
I don't want
folding
to.
Right.
You don't want to. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I kind of lucked out of that one. My sister had a kid like
Yeah.
a little bit ago.
Well, relief
Yeah.
straight away then.
Yeah,
I know.
such a
That's that taken care of.
yeah, exactly. So now I just got to focus on the other 2, right?
Yeah. You got to fill those
Yeah.
roles.
Yeah, exactly.
So be successful and do what the fuck you want at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
that's a juggling act
Isn't it?
right there.
I just go through the phases. Like I had my successful phase, and I'm like, I'm actually done with that. I
like
tried it
that.
for you guys, and now I'm
Yeah.
gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
So I'm over success.
Instead, I'm over
Yeah.
it.
Success is overrated.
Yeah.
It's better
Check.
to flop.
Check. Done.
I'm going to pivot now.
I'm gonna pivot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've done this long enough.
I
Are you
can't-
guys satisfied?
Right. I like the look of that do what the fuck I want role.
It's
I might
great.
lean into that a little bit
You
more.
have been. You have been a little bit. I'm here for it.
Right.
Right.
We're doing a little drinkies this morning.
It's a guest app.
So there you
Y'all
go.
know what that means.
It
It
means
is Friday as well.
But it's
Yeah.
Friday morning, not our usual record time.
Right,
And
we've
usually with
switched.
a guest, we'll do an evening. You know, we got mimosas in the
Yeah,
studio
we're
today.
feeling efficient.
Spice it up. It's not Snoop Dogg wine, but it's pretty close.
Next best thing, right?
Oh, which brings us to Santina.
Yes.
Nice.
Santina.
Nice little pivot and segue there.
And what about her?
Yeah.
And more connections. This is just kind of
Yeah.
Yeah,
how-
we've merged. Everyone that I love is merged. You know, everyone
Mm-hmm.
is hanging with everyone. It's always fun when you can do that in your life.
that's great.
Yeah.
And
Right?
you don't have someone that's like, oh God, and they don't get along.
yeah.
It's so
How are we going to work them
exhausting.
in?
But no, everyone's fucking with everyone. I like
Right.
It's
it.
great.
That's cool.
I feel like it's a really healthy dynamic with everyone. And like I said, there's always those jokes about, oh, you know, like when the 2 boyfriends got to be alone in the room together and it's like, oh, you like sports? Oh,
Yeah. Got nothing to
yeah,
talk
do you like
about.
gaming? No. So, you know, it's just funny.
Right.
You know, as I've gotten to know.
And the girls are
Santina-
just like
yeah,
this.
as I've gotten to know Santina and by extension Sabrina, it's just really cool to see the way they've supported one another in their growth, much in a similar fashion to how Aaron and I have.
It's
Yes.
so real.
It's
Yeah.
really sweet, you know, and I feel blessed to like have developed these connections over the past year or two, especially after going through like big changes in my life with like Saturn return type stuff and everything like that. It's just nice to have like a solid foundation of people that I care about that I can like share life with.
Yeah, it seems everyone was kind of in this crazy shifting free fall mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then all at once we kind of just like, and then now it's like, I'm pretty set with
Yeah,
the people I
yeah,
have in my close circle, you know?
Right.
So it's kind of fun how that all worked out
It's
at the
kind of
same
sweet,
time with
yeah.
everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's always a testament to like, I think, you know, you are who you associate with. It's
Yep.
very real. So if like my boyfriend
Right.
doesn't like my friend or vice versa, something's wrong.
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
reevaluate.
Yeah.
So it should be a natural connection with everyone in your life, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Well, they'd say, isn't it like the 3 or 4 people you hang out with the most? You know, those are the people those people have a massive
Yeah.
influence on who you are.
Definitely.
So if you've got to make sure those are the people that, you know, you got to choose
Mm-hmm.
carefully, wisely who you hang out with.
Definitely. And that's something I feel like I'm really sensitive to in regards to like the people I surround myself with. And I think that's what like makes my creative connection with Aaron really strong is because we've
okay.
had that time to develop it and we have trust with each other. But I do have a hard time in situations and circles where maybe I don't, not to get all like woo woo or whatever,
Yeah.
but if there's like an energetic misalignment or something like that, it's really hard for me to like fake that. You know?
Same, for sure.
It's really
Absolutely.
tricky.
It's
Yeah, I
definitely why
agree.
we click.
Yeah.
And it's also strange because I feel like there's situations where, you know, I'll be talking to someone and maybe their perception of like the connection we have is like completely different than what I'm getting.
Mm.
Where it's like they feel like there's this like profundity to it. And I'm like, you know, I appreciate all the connections I have. But I'm also like, damn, you be feeling like that about me? It's kind of flattering, but also it's tricky.
It's also like, what is going on?
Yeah, like,
Right.
what did I do?
Where is this disconnect?
what did I
And then
do?
I always think it's fake because I'm like, I feel like both people have to be feeling it. I know that's not true, but that's what I immediately go to. Like, you're putting on some kind of act. disconnect because like there's no way you're feeling this deeply and I'm not at all.
Right.
Like there's a disconnect there.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're feeling a little something, but it's maybe not to the same level of intensity.
Yeah, maybe.
It's also like one of those ideas, like when I was in college, I was really into like the yoga, mindful living type stuff. I used to lead the meditation club at App.
Oh, sweet.
And there's this whole thing, and like, this is going to like, clock me immediately. But Be Here Now, Ram Dass. I was really into that book, as every 19-year-old hippie white dude is. And there's this whole segment in there where he's like, if you think you're like spiritually enlightened and like fully grown spiritually, go home and hang out with your parents for a week
you're not.
and see how long that illusion lasts.
Literally, yeah,
so
it's true.
It is like every time I do have those moments where I'm like, oh, like I feel a misalignment with these connections, I'm like, realistically, how much further along am I in my growth?
Yeah.
And then it's also like analyzing like, maybe like the fact that I'm so like thrown off by this is like speaking to like a certain degree of like underdevelopment.
Or you think you're like, get off your high horse.
Yeah.
I say it to
you got to check
myself
yourself
all the time.
You do have to.
Where I'm like, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
I chalk it up to mostly just like, oh, we're on different paths currently, or we're just different, and that's enough for me to not want to like build a strong connection. It's no shade to the person. It's just like, we're just different. Yeah.
We're not ready for each other yet.
Yeah.
It could be later on down the line.
Could be.
Because everyone's growing, evolving,
For
hopefully.
Yeah.
Is there any like question to both of you? Like, is there ever like a point? Because I think, you have the bias of recency now kind of thing. And I can hold my hand up to this. So there was a point in my life where I thought, right, I'm here. I'm happy with how things are going, how I am.
You made it. You reached the top.
Made it. I think I can't improve on this.
Yeah.
And it happened to be when I was 30.
Yeah.
And then now at 52, I can look back on that 30-year-old and go, he knew shit.
You've changed just in the 5 years I've known you.
Exactly.
Well, that's true also. But I like, that's my arc is to keep
going,
keep improving, keep growing.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's definitely been times in my life where I've thought I was in a state of like, not completion necessarily, but there was a sense of having it figured out. I mean, I especially like going to App State, being surrounded by people who are really into like spiritualism.
Yeah.
It's really easy to think you have things figured out when you're surrounded by an echo chamber of people who also think they got it figured out.
Good point.
And it's like the whole idea of like no drama, like hippie drama, right?
Yes.
It's like a whole like, gumbo of people who think they are like beyond like attachment and desire and all that.
Yeah.
And so they're not willing to like look at themselves. And I was one of those folks too.
Yeah.
I cultivated a life for myself from that worldview, and it was solid, and like, it wasn't like terrible or anything, but obviously with the way my life has progressed since then, it just showed me like, sometimes you just got to do the coffee and cigarette thing for a little bit, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, we talked about that on a previous app where I was like at my most mentally unwell when I was in that stage of like hanging out with certain people I thought I was so all-knowing, and I knew nothing about myself.
Yeah.
But back to your original question, I've had that feeling multiple times in my life. When you're like 18, you're like, I'm grown, I know everything. And then when you're like 22 or 23, like you're like, oh, I'm in my 20s now, I know everything.
Right.
And then like the frontal lobe develops, then you hit there and you're like, now I know everything. It just like keeps evolving, I think.
Yeah.
I definitely have had many phases of that. But also the underlying tone is that I don't know shit. Still at the same time.
I don't want to know everything.
They both exist at the same time.
I mean, if you've got it all figured out and you know everything, then where are you at? You're like, I don't think anyone can ever. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, because then things would get boring.
Well, you always got more to learn.
Tons.
Like the more you go back for knowledge, like the more it'll have to show you. If you're like, oh, I know everything, there's always going to be a new lesson to learn.
Tons of lessons.
People get like addicted to like that pursuit of knowledge. That's also like a trap too sometimes.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, what are you running from? What are you chasing? What answer are you looking for if you're really searching for answers 24/7? Exactly.
Just enjoy the ride kind of thing. Don't go seeking.
Well, because it's like you learn from your experiences. And you could have unlimited different experiences throughout your whole life. So therefore you should be continuing learning forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what about, you, if you see younger you?
Yeah.
All right. What would you now say to younger yous? Let's say 10-year-old.
10-year-old me That's a hard one because like I look back on myself at 10 and I can't even really picture it in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would just like be like, it's okay if you want to like play a little more RuneScape or something like that.
Right.
You know, like the idea of like chasing perfection for perfection's sake is not like ideal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be the best of what you're doing, but it's important to like do it because you're getting fulfillment and enjoyment out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to 18-year-old self, I'd be like, maybe like skip the fade.
Yeah, right. Let's not do
There's
that.
a theme
Let's
here,
not
Jack.
do
We
that.
keep coming back to the Bieber fade.
Hey, we've all had the
I want pictures.
haircuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can show you my ID photo real quick.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Yeah. So, yeah, this will just be like a little treat for us in the studio. You'll just have to like.
No, this can go on Insta too.
Just imagine it.
What? Dang. Okay, this is a different guy.
Yeah.
How old are you here?
This guy is 18 in that photo.
Seriously?
I don't know how they keep
Let me
letting me
see.
get
I was
a
gonna
ID
say,
with this
surely
kid.
you don't look
This is insane.
the same.
Well,
When you
it's
go to
like-
the bar, are they like,
Well,
the
No,
fuck?
but I did get flagged on PayPal, and I had to like do a face
Recognition.
photo with the
Right,
ID, and I think
right,
that
right.
might trip me up a little
The only
bit.
thing the same here are probably the eyeballs. That's
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
it.
except
And the
there's
ears.
like a little glimmer of light that's not
Yeah.
there anymore.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Check that out. Oops. Oh.
Nice hands, feet.
Oh my god. Okay, Dad. Oh, who is this
Yes.
man? Yeah, you're just a baby.
Yeah.
That is so. Your little one dimple working hard for you over
I
there.
know, yeah, that really did a lot of the heavy lifting
Oh
for
my
me.
god,
For
that's
sure.
so funny. Yeah, you look like a little prep.
Yeah,
Mm.
well, it was just like the environment I was in when I started off at
Okay.
I wanted to do like a reinvention because
As you do.
You know, I enjoyed growing up in Brevard, but there was definitely like challenges I had with like, you know, the interest I had and like the scenes I was in. I was, like I said, I was really heavy into like the hardcore scene and stuff like that. You know, relationships at that age and stuff. And I really wanted to do like a radical
Yeah.
reinvention of myself. And so I
Yeah.
was like, let me just like do this whole like fade look and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
get all like, you know, manicured and
Yeah.
everything. And then,
Yeah.
after about 6 months of that, I had this like realization where I was like looking at myself and I was like, you kind of look like a clown and not like a good clown.
Yeah.
And so I, you know, I took the contacts out, grew my hair out super
Right,
long, and then I
right.
went to the other extreme of performative appearance,
Right.
Yeah.
which is like, you
Yeah.
know, mindful yoga man with
Yeah.
the beard and the long hair and stuff.
Yeah, but dude, at that age, that's the point of it, is to try on different skins, isn't it?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
find yourself. It's like, I see a group of people doing that over there. Let's just try that on for a minute.
Yeah.
And then them and see where I fit.
Yeah, and I know I'm talking about these phases of my life from a really hypercritical sort of lens, but I think a big issue that has kind of arisen from like modern internet-based society is like you really don't have the grace and the privacy to like try out these like sort of like cringy
that's true. That's
For
true.
sure.
expressions
Yeah,
of
yeah,
yourself
yeah.
without being viewed through the lens of the public in this
Right.
like weird way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that like really just started like probably like, you know, mid tens, honestly. Like you
Right.
saw a little bit of it like
Yeah.
in the aughts and stuff with like MySpace, but then it was like kind of being weird and cringy was seen as this like expression of self that was like something to be like strived towards.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Whereas now it's like an object for like criticism, and that's why you get so many people who are just kind of like homogenized in their appearance and their
Okay.
interests.
So it's not celebrated anymore, you think?
I think cringe culture has kind of died down a little bit. Like I
Okay.
think people are less like critical of people for doing something weird or off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean the damage is kind of done already.
Right,
I think
right.
kids nowadays don't have the same
Mm-mm.
grace to like be cringy, awkward kids.
Yeah.
They're expected to like just automatically be like fully grown at like middle school age, high school
Seriously.
age.
Right.
There's no
Yeah.
wiggle room to try out other things when every second of your life is documented.
Exactly.
Because then someone can be like,
Mm.
you know, so and so.
Yeah.
This is what they look like in middle school, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what?
Yeah, what do I do with this?
Yeah, like I definitely had I had my Hot Topic phase. I was wearing, you know, this hot pink skinny jeans with the chains and zippers and shit on them. My Converse that went to
Nice.
my knees, you know, and my Hello Kitty Invader
Right.
Zim era scene hair, all that stuff.
But
and
you,
that was
you were doing that in your space.
in my space.
Yes.
Yeah, posting pictures on
In your time.
Facebook every day, of course. So there is proof
Okay.
somewhere.
Oh, it's there. All right,
but
right.
it's definitely not the same. Like I wasn't going to school being like, oh God, this is going to be on TikTok later.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is very much
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
kids
yeah,
these
yeah.
days. And what they're watching on TikTok is adults.
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, I got to be like that. It's like, no, you can be 12. And
Yeah,
that's
it's okay.
fine.
Right,
right,
Just
right,
be
right.
12.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like when it, like, yeah, you were definitely still subjected to some bullying and stuff if you portrayed yourself in a way that people would deem like cringe or whatever. But at least you were in control of like the optics of how like people perceived it because you'd like post it. Whereas nowadays everyone's got a phone. Everyone's like, oh, look at this weirdo.
That's what I'm
like,
saying. Everyone's filming everyone.
Yeah. So it's like you just and it's just we get into a whole topic of like privacy and stuff like that, but we don't have to go too deep down that rabbit hole. I'm just like, I don't know, kids should be cringe if they want. Like they should have the like flexibility and freedom to explore that side of themselves. You know?
So you're saying with the cringe culture that people are getting criticized for they're finding a lane, getting in that lane, but people are like, oh, you're only doing that because you know you're looking to be different.
Well, I think there's a little bit of there's a little bit of like both sides to that. Like I think people are criticized for trying new stuff. Yeah. But I also think with the internet now, something that you would get bullied for because it was seen as like fringe or like weird. Yeah. Now that online is like present in everyone's life, it's like you can find a community that will validate that. Right. And so it's like
for sure.
People are getting criticized for being cringe for the wrong reasons and then like being like validated and justified for things that maybe need a little bit of analysis. But also, you know, I had a fade, so I'm not going to like...
there you go.
Oh, damn. I forgot to do... I was going to play a little game this morning. We're past it. Forget it.
We're past? Yeah. You can't bring it in now?
I guess we could. But just the fade has reminded me. Yeah. Okay, we can bring it in now. Phase it in. Fade it in? Yeah, we'll fade it in. So I was going to bring it at the beginning, but I was thinking, right, maybe a piece of paper and a pencil. I got some.
Your glasses are looking pretty empty. You want me to get some supplies?
We could do a break for that.
Up. Just bring the whole shit in here. Bring the shit in here.
And I've probably got a pee, so all right.
But I have like 4 whiteboards and we can all have individual things.
Oh,
is that what you're wanting us all to have individual?
Yeah, an individual thing.
Yeah, I got that.
All right. I'm going to go pee.
Go piss, girl.
Thank you. No one ever gets it when I say it. As you guys know, we love drinking here at Tea and Toasties Pod.
Oh, do we?
And we have found a product that we believe needs to be shared with you all.
We have to share this.
They're called Liqueur. They are hangover gummies. Rich and I have been trying these out for a few weeks now. And gotta say, they work.
This shit works.
The shit works. That's the tagline. Well, most recently, you had a couple nights out before you had a big soccer game.
That's right.
In the morning.
Yeah.
And what happened? You woke up feeling...
I mean, yes, right as rain. I usually...
Amazing.
I can get hangovers, as you know, off of 2 drinks, 3 drinks, and I'm down for days. We tested this. We even went out on a couple of nights together and we drank and drank and drank, just pure testing.
We had to.
We had to just test this product. And I woke up and I was like, whoa. I'm feeling fine. Let's play soccer. And this, I had to get up at like 6 a.m. or something silly.
Yeah. Well, these gummies, they combine
What's in it?
DHM, which is derived from the Havinia dulcis tree and has been used in traditional medicine for centuries. It helps break down the toxic byproduct of alcohol responsible for common hangover symptoms such as headaches, nausea, and fatigue.
Check. I get all those.
This does everything.
Yes.
It's also infused with prickly pear and milk thistle, both known for their liver boosting and antioxidant properties. Also B vitamins as B6 and B12, electrolytes, and ginger root,
which helps
reduce nausea and aids digestion.
Amazing. Now, where can we find them?
Guys, with our exclusive code, TNT. You can get 20% off these gummies at liqueur.com. Code TNT for 20% off your order.
Take them while you're drinking and you'll wake up and I guarantee you'll be waking up feeling nice, fit and fresh.
Yes. And not only are you helping yourself, you are helping us because with our code, we will also be getting a commission. We're in the big leagues, y'all.
Yep.
That's liquure.com, promo code TNT. All right.
The game. I call it Insert Rando Word Challenge. So we're going to all think of a word.
Okay.
But it's got to be something that's not, like and or it's not something just mainstream.
Not a filler.
Not a filler word. Love it.
Okay.
We're going to write one down.
We all have whiteboards, our own whiteboard.
We do. No showing, so it's private, it's secret.
Okay.
The object of the game is each person has to then insert that word into the natural flow. And then it's kind of a last person standing kind of deal. Mm-hmm. So if you start saying fade over and over and over again,
right.
I might start to think, Jack's word could be fade. Although he's probably double bluffed me and put fade again.
Yeah, I could do that.
I'll put fade, actually.
Right.
Start talking about
so
my fade.
if there's a word that keeps cropping up and I'm thinking, it seems a bit fishy, and I might challenge you.
Okay, wait, so
is that your
like
word?
How many times you can say it?
Yeah, that's where it's last person standing.
To say their word.
I'm going to change my word.
I know.
Okay.
There's no way I could have like made that one like actually sound.
Okay. So it's got to sound like you might be saying it as part of your natural flow. Then if I'm a bit dubious on what's going on over here, I might just say, all right, challenge.
Dubious.
Is that your word?
Challenge.
And then if I'm correct, then you're eliminated. If I'm incorrect, then I'm eliminated, and it'll be the last person standing.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Now I just need a word.
Jack's already ready.
Yeah, he's ready.
Well, I will tell you the first word I had was frothing.
Ooh.
And I was just like, there's no way I can like really like
frothing at the mouth.
It's like, when we get together these ideas when we're
They're just frothing.
They're bubbling and frothing.
Yeah. Well, mine was going to be cereal for some reason, the food. When you first said the word. And then I was like,
I thought of that on the way in.
Shut up. Rich.
Driving the car, and I was like, I could go with cereal. And I'm thinking,
What's your favorite type of cereal?
Good question.
That is a great question.
I
can't believe I thought of it.
Yeah, I don't eat cereal anymore.
What happened?
Ditched the cereal.
You lost your whimsy?
Yeah.
Your sense of whimsy?
I'm not frothing anymore for cereal.
Yeah.
I've got like 2 different genres of cereal.
Yeah.
If I'm eating it for like breakfast, I love a mini wheat, frosted mini wheat. Sorry. But like for a sweet treat, a Captain Crunch, a Lucky Charms.
Captain Crunch.
I like Cookie Crisp a lot.
Cookie Crisp.
Yeah.
All right, I got one.
There we go.
Got it. Okay, we're ready?
Yes.
Right. Everyone's got their words.
Got it.
Got the words.
Exciting stuff.
Exciting stuff. Throw a game in.
He loves a game.
Like a game.
Well, I originally bought these whiteboards because I was going to have my parents on. Hi, I know you guys are listening, rats. And I wanted them to do, it was
That's
last
right.
minute. They're about to go on vacation, so it makes sense. But I wanted to do like a newlywed game style thing, but with like, who knows me the best? Who knows mom the best? Who knows dad the best? Like do it all. We all had the whiteboards and we would write down the answers. I still want to do that.
That's
I think it would
fun.
be very fun.
Oh,
Anyway.
perhaps we'll get JB on and you can do me and JB.
Justin Bieber.
Yes.
With
Me
the
and
fade.
Justin know each other so well.
It feels like we all know him so well,
Yeah.
Was that the fade? You copied his fade? Or?
I didn't copy his fade. Although I did, I had the Bieber cut, kind of. It almost like the thing when I was talking about the John Lennon thing. When I was growing up, I looked like Beatlemania a little bit because of the Justin Bieber cut.
Yeah.
And so when I grew my hair out, it was an attempt to escape the John Lennon allegations. But I also was growing the beard and all this stuff at the same time. So it was just like...
Every boy in our generation, they were the Bieber cut at some point. Like, it was just a thing. Everyone had it at some point.
Yeah. And it was always the people who were like the most vocal critics, but it's just like, you can't help it. His spirit lives on in all of us.
Jesus Christ.
So what else, apart from the music?
Yeah.
Like if you want to, because that's probably very, involved.
Yeah,
You think about that probably a lot of the time. But
to an extent,
what else if you want to, not escape, but just get into something else? What else do you get into?
Yeah. I mean, like for me, I go through like phases of interest, right? So during the pandemic, I was really into gaming. I grew up doing that a lot, but I kind of like fell away from it because I was like, this is not healthy. But after the pandemic hit, I got really into like these really niche like gaming communities and stuff like that. Like doing like online PvP with like a really tight knit community and stuff like that. Before that, most of my work was audio related. And so whenever that started, I was like, oh, I can't really be doing sound or anything like that anymore. Not gigging out as much. Well, I thought I wasn't going to be, but it was funny. Like Pink Beds, like really, like the pandemic really helped us out a lot in a lot of ways. But whenever the pandemic hit, I was like zipline guiding for a little bit. I got really into like coffee,
sweet,
barista work. There was a period of time where I was, creating cocktail menus and bartending, and stuff like that. So
exploring different things,
right? Like creation in different mediums.
Yeah.
So like I had a mentor of mine. When I was in Charlotte, Kevin McCluskey, shout out Black Pearl. He told me, he's like, if you don't know how to cook a meal, you're not going to know how to mix a record.
Oh, I like that.
Because it's basically like, you got to have like sensibility about taste.
Yeah.
And well, duh, it's a meal. But like, you got to have like a sense of nuance in how you're approaching things and like proportions of ingredients.
Right. Bit of this, bit of that.
Yeah, ratios and stuff like that. And so I kind of applied it to that sort of component of my creation. Like, how can I take some of these concepts and apply it to like things I'm like I like cooking all right. I don't really cook for myself all that much. I really only like to cook when it's for like, you know, special guest or something like that.
A few people.
Yeah, a few people would be great. But yeah, for me, it like, came across more so with like cocktails and stuff like that. So,
right. What's your favorite cocktail you like to put together?
Well, I mean, like my favorite cocktail to drink is probably like a Negroni, which is just like, you know, vermouth, Campari, gin. It's simple. It's bitter. I like really bitter, astringent flavors, you know, with coffee and chocolate, stuff like that. You know, I just like trying to like think about how to substitute different ingredients. Like I remember it was this most recent Valentine's Day, Santino, who we were talking about. We were hanging out and I was like, yeah, let's come up with a cocktail on the spot. So I like Negronis and stuff like that. At the hotel I was working at the time, bartending, we didn't have vermouth because we didn't have a fortified wine license. And so I was like, what can I do to substitute that in for vermouth? And I realized unfiltered sake was like another sort of avenue. Yeah. So like I was doing that, and then I utilized like Midori, which is like this melon liqueur instead of like the Campari. So it wasn't even like a Negroni really, but it's like the whole concept of like just taking simple recipes and then like switching out components and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And it's like, I just like working with spirits as a whole. And like, I also feel like
Halloween's over.
Not to be like too heady about it or anything, but I mean, like it does apply as well with like my creation process with music, where it's like, you know, there's a formula for a song that I may approach a lot of times. And I can't speak for Aaron, but like, I know we have like our defaults that we go to when we're starting off a new composition. But I know like I can like, if like this sounds like too typical of like my process, I'll try and like switch out one or two components for something a little more atypical.
Right. Perfect. I was going to ask that. Like, would you say you have a creative brain, obviously?
Well, I appreciate that.
But would you say that you have familiar patterns going on, creative patterns, and then when if you want to apply it to different mediums, do you go to the same well and draw from that and use the same patterns, or are you like thinking, no, this time I'm going to try something a little different?
To an extent, yeah. I think there's situations where I try to approach things from a really natural, traditional sort of formulaic thing. And then there's times I want to just start with something like a little atypical for myself. So like with composition, I think in formulas.
There's a pattern.
There's a pattern, you know, it's like a jigsaw like concept. So like I know like not to be like all like emotional and stuff, but like there's times where if I'm working with Aaron and like he hits like a melody or something, I start tearing up. I'm like, that's it, bro. Like that's the shit, you know? So things like that, like whenever I get like a sense of like getting welled up, so to speak,
then it's working.
Now I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to like center everything around. Right.
Yeah. So if it's moving you, that's fair to say it's going to move other people.
Everything I'm throwing into the composition is to emphasize that moment.
Right.
So I think, for example, like with like Tunnel Vision, right? That song that we worked on, I was like, okay, well, I know this chorus has this really like powerful like home chord moment. It just like is the sense of completion. And I was like, especially with Aaron's melody he did on that, I'm like, damn, he was cooking on that shit.
Right.
Like, so with the like the verse and stuff, I kind of like was like, okay, well, how can I make something feel like concise and like stable, but like have it like feeling like it wants to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And so like the whole verse is like this whole fake out into that home chord moment. And so then when it finally hits, you have that tension and release. Right. And so that's kind of like one approach. I'm like, I want to center it around like this home chord moment.
Yeah.
Like this sense of completion, like really powerful, like heavy hitting shit. And then also I try to like create a sense of fluidity in the composition. So instead of just doing like basic chords, I'm like, how can I like imply this chord in a way that also has movement to it? So it's like this concept of like underlick, which is like basically you have like a counter melody that the instrument's doing underneath the top line. Not to get like, I don't want to get like too terminology centric with this. But yeah, I'm also just like, I really like heavily experimental music. But I also deeply appreciate the simplicity and predictability of pop. And so it's like, how can you like do like sonically challenging concepts and things that kind of bring out that essence.
Nice. Okay.
But also like keep people's attention.
Yeah.
So like, if I'm like, oh, this verse is going on a little too long, in my mind, if I'm getting bored, I'll like throw like a weird sound in there, like something like has a sense of like motion or transition into like the next phase. I want to challenge people by doing like out of the box ideas, but I also want to hold their attention because people don't have the
I was going to ask that. Do you think people's ears are accustomed to sonically how things are supposed to sound? They're used to like, okay, this, I'm used to this, it's popular, and that's what I want to hear. And you're saying there's partly, yes, that's where I'm at, but I also want to challenge as well.
Right. Well, I think there's a lot of people who listen to music for the challenging component.
Yeah.
You know, someone's like, oh, you haven't heard of like Throbbing Gristle or like, you know, any kind of like really like just out there stuff, and it can come across as performative or whatever. And then there's like some people who are just like really into the comfort and familiarity.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like they're not consuming art to be challenged.
Yeah.
They're consuming if they're consuming art to feel held and things like that. So I really just think it depends. And like I know like if you're making music for people besides yourself, it's just never going to feel great. So it's like you want to like keep those people in mind, but you don't want to like yield your own creative impulse for the sake of impressing someone who may not even like actually care about it.
So you don't care if it hits with the majority.
Yeah.
But you're creating for yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I am creating for myself. Also, as like an artist who has like an ego and feelings, I want everyone on the planet
Still
to like
it.
Right. But I'm not going to, I don't want to like simplify an idea for the sake of trying to like pull in people who wouldn't really align with it otherwise.
Is that the trickiest thing though, to come up with something original or challenging, but then also to get everyone to buy into it? Literally.
I mean, like for me personally, I think the most challenging point of creation is like serving the song. Like, I mean, that just comes with, you know, time of doing it. And like, I've been playing guitar for like 15 years at this point, maybe more. It's one of those things where at a certain point, you just have to realize like as much as you've got talent or like sense about what you want to do, you got to get out of the way of it if the song is like wanting something else from you. Because I always think of like the song is not the person creating it. It's just like ethereal, like spiritual kind of like nebulous floating concept that we just like pluck.
Right.
And so I think what Aaron and I collaborate on well is like you can hear one of the Pink Bed songs and like you can tell like who was like helming production for that.
Okay.
Or who came up with like a certain part typically, because we have our own distinct flavors.
Yeah.
But we always like approach it from the perspective of like what the song wants.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that sometimes like hard to know. And also it does take like yielding some of your own creative juice.
Which must be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It never gets like super easy, but the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
You know, like I'll come up with a guitar part and I'll be like, oh, that's cool, but I don't want it here. And you got to be like, I really like this part, but you got to just like be like, well, tough. And just like.
Yeah, or maybe it fits in another song.
Yeah, or like, you know, if like when we play live, there are times if we have to fill time, because we're not like a 3-hour band by any means. You can incorporate some of those ideas into like an extended passage type thing. So. There's a place for it, and sometimes serving the song doesn't mean it ends up on the record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like any ideas, though, isn't it? It's like you might come up with something.
Right.
And then you throw it out there, but you're hoping, maybe you haven't got the rest of the thought to carry it through, but you're hoping to get collaboration from whoever. And then everyone else pitches in, and that's the best part, is once you have that team effort on it, and then it's gone beyond what you even imagined yourself originally.
Exactly. I think collaboration is like the spirit of what music should be about. Right. I think it also requires everyone like being out of their own way.
Exactly.
And putting like their impulses in check a little bit.
Yeah.
And when I was talking about like catering to the masses, I don't want to like discount that, because I think I think there is artistic integrity in creating something that has mass appeal. You know?
Yeah, that's what you're just saying is so much how we operate. A lot of times one of us will come with an idea, like, we need to do this, it's gonna be awesome. And then the other person's like, well, have you thought about this aspect of it? And you're like, fuck, no. So then instead of just completely shooting it down, it's like, well, let's pivot. We can take that idea and just slightly shift it to where it fits perfectly in to what we need it to be.
Yeah.
And with what you're saying with your creative process and stuff and how you think about making music and to the masses or not is very mirroring what Aaron said on our
Absolutely.
episode.
I was thinking that when he was saying it.
It's almost verbatim. So it makes so much sense why you guys are so collaborative.
It's a great mesh.
That's, the good thing about art in all forms is that there are so many different types of people. Everyone looks to art for something else.
True.
So there's always going to be something that you like or want that this person is doing, So approaching it always, and almost anything that you do, just in the way that feels good to you, I think is always going to be beneficial.
Authentic, beneficial.
Because someone is going to be out there that fucks with it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they don't, you fuck with it.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
But then you also might get to learn if you throw out your idea and, you can park your idea where it is. Once it comes back to you, like full circle, you're like, Jesus, that's just a thought I had in the shower this morning.
Right.
It was throwaway.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything I was really, married to, sold on, but you took a risk, threw it out there and let other people get involved.
Yeah.
And then the end result when it came back to you was like, fuck, that's awesome.
There's also some people that just genuinely their favorite way to make art is to make other people happy. Like the iconic pop producers or pop artists, like you said, it can be generic, seen as that feels good, that comfort thing.
Yeah.
Some people, they know it, they like it, and they're
Yeah.
doing it partly because they like that feeling of everyone just loving it.
Yeah.
There's no like other meaning than just I want this feeling. I want this result.
Yeah, it's not discounting the I mean, that's quantity over quality, or is it? Are you discounting the quality
but it's also
of
people's different styles, of what they like,
Of how
and it's not discrediting anyone's likes.
Right.
It's just people have different tastes.
It's like those qualities that some people really dig about, like a Jack Antonoff production.
I knew this was going to come up.
Call back to Aaron Aiken episode, right? Some things that people like about his production style, other people are repulsed by. Like I saw this one video where a dude can tell if it's a Jack Antonoff production within the first second of the song.
Yeah.
Because it's like a visceral nausea response.
Yeah.
So...
And I'm kind of that way with some indie shit, like some local indie bands and stuff. I'm like, it's that sound
tricky.
again,
Right.
but like some people love it. It's not
Yeah.
to say one thing or another.
Yeah.
It's just, there's something out there for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. With all forms of art.
Speaking of something for everyone, how about this new Taylor Swift album? I feel like you need to face the music a little bit on it, right?
I do?
Yeah, what do you think? I want to hear your perspective.
I know we didn't talk about it on the pod, which was shocking because it was like breaking news in my life, right? And the listeners know how I feel, but I also was hesitant because it's kind of a thing within the Taylor Swift fandom that I don't know what it means, but usually when you first listen to an album, it's like there's a couple days of cringe and then you kind of get over it. And that is how I felt when I first listened to it. I knew that it was going to be pop, which is great, fine, whatever. My favorite albums are Folklore, Evermore, which are her different genre ones.
That's like the one with Aaron Desner.
Yes, like just lyrically, they're insane in my opinion, and just they hit certain parts of me that I relate to. But I was like, okay, pop, love that. I can get on board. And then it came out, and I was like, it was almost too tongue in cheek, too. I wasn't a super fan, but now I think they're just bops. They're fun to listen to.
Right.
I'm not listening all the time. But when I want a little bit of a dance moment, I will pull that out. So I'm a fan. Also, Jack did not produce.
Yeah, you can smell that on it too.
Yeah, he didn't produce at all. It was Martin and Shellback.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it does have the sound of an album that someone created solely for their own enjoyment.
Exactly.
Because I mean, like I would assume that she knew that most people were not gonna dig it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the vibe, and that's what she's said in the interviews that I have heard is like it was for her. It's the album she's always wanted to make, because I think, I don't know her obviously, but what she said, she's in this zone where she doesn't need to appeal to anyone anymore.
She's got nothing to prove.
She's at the top of the world. She just had the eras. So it's like, make an album for yourself, bitch. Who cares?
Yeah. Sure.
People are going to eat it up anyway.
Right.
So why not?
Your core people will do that.
Yeah.
They'll just take it on.
I felt the same way about the new Tame Impala a little bit, where it's like, this dude is like one of the biggest artists in the world for a bit. And it's like, there's a point. It's like when you're like that poppin' and you have that much undisputed legacy, you can afford to make an album of mediocrity if you want to.
But if it's creatively singing to you, you've paid your dues,
right?
Yeah.
And you're ready now to put out something that just is for you.
And it's not objective mediocrity. I want to clarify that, right? It's like taste, right? It's like it maybe not up to the same standard that listeners were expecting, but I mean, I think that goes back to the idea of just creating for the audience.
Yeah.
And if you just keep trying to chase that sound of like pleasing your listening base, at a point they're gonna stop appreciating it anyway because it's gonna feel inauthentic.
Which is funny with the Taylor album. I was seeing a lot of that and a lot of like this was like a cheap money making album, and I was like, it's actually the opposite. Do you forget who Taylor Swift is? She is this cringe pop girl inherently at heart. That's who she is.
Yeah. Right.
This album is for her.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone else.
Yeah.
But I think people just think nowadays everyone's doing something for attention or making something for other people.
And to be fair, it's not like she needs to make money.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So,
she does it because she can't not do it.
I think she's doing all right.
It is interesting how much a producer's influence can like have an impact on the sound. You know, you can sense it like when an artist is working with a longtime producer and then they shift to someone else, you can like smell it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Taste it a little bit.
Well, like y'all's last Pink Beds record, you know, Aaron was doing all the producing and shit.
Yeah. The way the second album turned out, I think registered more cleanly across like different systems, and it had more of like a solid like traditional mix, which I think has a lot of good character to it.
Yeah.
I know with the next project we're doing or whatever kind of projects we're getting into with the group, I know we kind of want to like do a different approach than we did because this one was so like it was like over like such a long period of time, and it was more like disjointed. I think there was very little of it that was done in the room together, which like the first record was like that too. It was like mostly like Aaron's like songs from like post Remarks era.
So sort of COVID time.
Yeah, I mean, like we started like literally a month before COVID,
right?
And so we had like a whole year to like write an album.
Yeah,
but a lot of it was already like pre-written because Aaron had like a bunch of material he couldn't use with the remarks.
From the remarks.
Yeah,
okay.
I think the only songs that we did for that album were like "You Can Do Better," "Do No Harm," and "Tunnel Vision." There may be some other ones in there I'm forgetting.
Right. My top three.
I mean, you know, it's like those three like really resonate with people, dude. It's like we played a show. It was like a pretty like sparsely attended show, like just like kind of like going out of town doing like a money gig thing. And these two girls who saw us open for the Stews when we played that show here came up and they're like, "Are you guys gonna play Tunnel Vision?" And I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "We're playing that. We're playing that."
That's like the single.
And that's like the thing too, is like going back to that conversation of like artistic fulfillment and like mass appeal, right?
Yeah.
It's like you want to push your boundaries and like make something you're proud of, but at the same time, you do got to respect like why, like what things people resonate with, and it's the idea of serving the song, because it's like if you can get out of your way to create something that resonates with that many people, you owe it to them to like get out of your own way to like play it for them.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Do you guys have? I don't know if I asked Aaron this, but do you have a pressure to like the example you just gave of people being like, "I love Tunnel Vision, I love Tunnel Vision," and maybe that's not a song that you were like, you know, it had more of that for the masses feeling. Do you have a pressure now, maybe if you get more notoriety, to like stick on what works, or is it a push and pull a little bit?
I mean,
do you find yourself checking?
There's a really sensitive balance to it. It's easy for me because it's like I like all those songs.
Yeah.
That people want to hear. You know, I think
that helps.
We didn't make the songs for like mass appeal.
Yeah.
You know, like Tunnel Vision and You Can Do Better. The TV instrumental I whipped up in like 20 minutes. Aaron whipped up You Can Do Better in like 20 minutes. It was like literally just like an exercise of like, let's just do it. Like, let's just make something for fun and like without expectation.
Yeah.
You know, Aaron, he got that melodic sense about him. He's got a natural inherent ability to come up with really nice melodies. So it's easy when you have like a good musical foundation for him to just like do his thing on it. So for me, it's like I would always like, I don't want to just be caught up playing like first record, second record stuff.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, like I want everything we make to be like more and more enjoyed as we go along. But at the same time, I'm always going to have like room to play the songs that people like continually listen to, because it is a testament about how like something we're creating is just beyond our own like, you know, self-centered creations. It's about like the spirit of the music we're making, you know?
Well, go on.
Also, I can imagine kind of hard when, say, like, you know, you guys have been going for like 6 years now, 5 years as a band. And so the early days stuff, but like maybe you don't, you know, some people discover you now and then you see the stats, just the way that Spotify works is like the top song is going to be an older song because it has more plays. So then that's the song that everyone listens to and then loves. And then 5-6 years later, they're like, can you play that old song? And you're like, I get it, but also I'm in a different place as an artist and as a musician.
Right.
It's this weird like balance that you have to do.
And like Aaron's not like he's not a numbers guy in the terms of music. He's not like into like metrics or like whatever. You know, at the end of the day, like his thing is always going to be about like what is the most artistically fulfilling for me? Like what like makes me feel validated as a creative.
Right.
And I feel similarly too. You know,
cool.
obviously I want to like always be pushing our boundaries and create something like that. And if it resonates with people, I love that too. You know, I also think the issue we're in right now, we're in like a shift in the music industry because of like so many people like having this like mass exodus from Spotify because of like the business practices and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is like getting to a point where people are looking for alternatives. And I think that's like the time where if we have an awareness about like where like the flood of people are moving or like how people are going to shift their consumption of music, you know, we can get ahead of that and we may not have to sacrifice artistic integrity for, which to say Aaron would never sacrifice artistic integrity for anything, dog. This man, he's like, he's like, I'm an artist, damn it.
Literally. Well, that's like when you first got here and you were talking about hanging out with Aaron after this. And I mean, sure, you guys might be plotting, scheming on another record, but he's in here most nights of the week just fucking around and doing shit. And I think he would be doing that if he didn't have something to put out there. He's just in here.
Because he just loves doing it.
It's like, even if he's like, this isn't going to fit the vibe of what I have in mind for the record or the band.
Well, at least you're creating.
He's just in here doing shit all the time just because he loves it.
And if he's not focused on, that's too much pressure on yourself to create something that you want, that other people might want to hear. So if he's just fucking around for the, you know, for himself and just like, this is what I'm creating, that's probably where the best shit's going to come from.
Exactly. Well, I know like all the contributions I've made with certain songs instrumentally and things like that, I never like made them from like the perspective of like, oh, this is going to end up as a Pink Bed song. Usually what it is like, I'll be tinkering around. I'll come up with an instrumental. I might try like a melody on it or something. And I'm like, oh, like, I don't really like how this feels, but like, I feel like Aaron would like maybe do something good with it. Okay. Then I'll do that. And like, you know, I think like his approach to production, he likes a lot of like organic sounds and things like that. Whereas I tend to focus more on like electronic-y, like experimental sounds and stuff like that. And so like, obviously that's not always going to translate to the band. And like, I know there's things with Aaron where he's like, you know, he's a crooner. He's a sensitive guy, like I said. So, and I mean that with love if you're listening to this, Aaron.
I'm sure he'll be listening.
You know, it's like, I think, you know, there's so many songs I hear him make that have this like slower, more somber feeling to them. Yeah. Which like, you know, with the pretense of the band that are like, that's a little more upbeat a lot of times. Maybe he feels a little pressure about making it this thing. So like, maybe it's a thing like, you know, he just puts out like some stuff like solo dolo and like has fun with that. I think a reason why like the collaboration works so well with us is because we're not creating individually for the collective product, so to speak. It's not a product, it's art, right? Sure. You know what I mean? But it's like, we know, we can have a sense about like if it's something that we would like work well together on. And so like, that's how like all my favorite songs we have end up that way. Because it's like, it starts off as an individual endeavor and then we like show it to each other and we're like, oh, we can like really elevate this.
Yeah, I think it's more of like, I've been cooking this up like this. I don't know if any of this would work. And then something that the other person just sees and is like that. And I can draw off that. Then that is what becomes the thing instead. Just having kind of like your own personal catalog.
Exactly.
And then going off of there.
Right.
Yeah. Can I ask, do you find it better or do you even know, like if you're all in the same room together at the same time collaborating or how it's kind of going now where maybe individual people bring stuff to the collective and then you work on it together? Which do you prefer? Because I kind of feel pros and cons of each. If there's a big, everyone's meshing and the vibe is there, great, but also maybe too many heads at one time, too much going on at one time. Is there one that you prefer over the other?
I wouldn't say there's like a preference so much as like a difference in approach. Like for me, I'm really bad at tracking live drums. So I always prefer to like just like produce in the box. Right. And that's like that's like a personal limitation type thing. I think there's some songs that lend themselves better to like a organic approach, like maybe like in the room together writing process, especially if it's like a situation where Aaron's like, I got this guitar part and this melody that I think is really great, and we're all in the room together and we can kind of flesh it out. Right. That's what happened with Forgiven.
And there's probably an energy that's coming off all of you at the same time, no?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think like kind of the best processes for us as a band, just judging on what I've seen, is a situation when we have like a spirit of an idea of like what we want to do, and we're in the room together and we record stuff, and then maybe Aaron and I go after the fact and maybe produce it out a bit. Right. I would say the ideal kind of ratio for me is like one song that Aaron does everything on, one song that I do a lot of stuff on and he does his lyrics, and then like a couple we collaborate on, and then like a couple that the band does all together. Because
that sounds good.
Well, it's efficient. It's a really like logical
good
answer.
Soup of it.
It's very political. Very political answer.
Right. I guess that also comes into play with different people.
Exactly.
But it's also hard, I imagine, like, you know, the scheduling conflicts. It's like, I can't pause my creative stream to wait for all of us to be
I'm
in
flowing
the
now.
Together.
Yeah.
So then it's you kind of have to come up with shit on your own.
Yeah. And I like me personally, I prefer a disjointed approach. Like I like us like working on things individually and then like collaging them.
And then bring in it.
Yeah, like some of my favorite producers, like J. Paul, kind of has that like kind of sound to him and stuff like that. So
yeah, I imagine it's more authentic too, because naturally, I think just as humans, you have this pressure that you feel when other people are in the room or when other people are watching.
Performance pressure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Even no matter how much you say, I don't care. It's just natural, I think. So it's like, what can you come up with behind closed doors on your own?
Yeah.
Versus like when you have this pressure being in the room with everyone.
Exactly. Yeah. We're really lucky that we don't have to worry about a recording budget.
Right.
Because like Aaron and I have a background in like recording and production. Right. So it's like that helps free it up a lot in my mind. But yeah, I just think it's like one of those things. I think just getting variety in your approach like helps so much immensely. Yeah. And one thing it's like with the whole like scheduling conflict that's tough too is like, you know, if you're working all the time and you're like stressed out or like you're low energy, it's like I don't have the energy to create. And it's like the idea of like sometimes you got to just like force yourself to do it. And it's getting comfortable with the idea of like creating something when you don't have the energy to do it and it turns out sounding like shit. And you got to just be like, okay, well, I didn't want to do this, so I forced myself to do it and it sounds like shit. Right. And you got to be okay with that because you really got to just like get into the consistent pattern of creating regardless of how good or bad it sounds.
That's what I've heard. And I see that method. It's like someone says, get in there every day, be consistent, if you're writing a book, write like a chat, write a page or write a few pages, whatever you can do. If you're in like music, then write a line or two lines every day, be consistent. But I see that, but I also see wait. If you're not ready, if your energy is low, you know, wait for the high energy, and then I think you're going to be more productive in a you know, it's just working smarter, isn't it?
Yeah, for me, even just with my sewing, like I started it not to sell, not to do anything, and then when I first got into it, I was doing it very consistently. Yeah, and then it was probably on like the fourth or fifth consistent time of doing sewing, I busted out like the whole collection, I called it, and posted it. It was all just flowing from my brain. And usually I'm planning and drawing out, and this just came out of nothing. And all of those things sold immediately when I posted them, unbeknownst to me. And I was like, yes. Oh, and it's like I was just in that creative zone.
You're in the sew zone.
And it's like these people buying it didn't know that, but it's like they can sense this, like
sensed it.
Just creative flow that was coming out. And like, I haven't touched it in a while. It's literally dusty over there.
It's waiting for you. It's cold.
Because I just haven't been in that mood. But I need to just get back in just the everyday because you don't know what the hell's going to
I know. I think it also helped when you dropped a collection all in one hit. It feels like a body of work.
It is. Yeah. It felt like that. I did it all in like one night. That's probably why I also don't touch it, because once I start, I can't stop until it's done. So I'll be up all night.
What's your favorite thing you've made on the sewing machine?
Such a good question. Well, the first thing I ever truly made was this patchwork denim jacket, and I hate it because now that I've made more things, I realize it sucks. Proportions are off, yada, yada. But it's surprisingly like really good for the first thing in my mind. I was proud of it. It was the first thing I was proud of, I'll say that. But I think my favorite thing is my bag I carry around every day that I made.
Yeah, I love those bags.
Even just the whole collection that I dropped that sold, I'd own none of it. Kind of a partial regret because I do love all of the bucket hats I made, all the bags.
The beanie buckets.
Yeah, but actually the answer probably is my shirt, the tie-up shirt.
Oh, yeah.
that I made. I love that one.
Mm.
But the things that I can wear.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I started sewing, was to have unique pieces that literally no one else owns except for me.
Right.
All made from thrifted things, so no one could recreate it if they tried.
So you were creating for yourself.
Yeah, and those are my favorite pieces. Just 100% unique, made by me pieces.
There is something that's like incredibly rewarding about creating something that exists in the physical.
Yeah.
You know, with music, it's like, you know, supposedly like a decoration of time.
Yeah.
Right. So as opposed to like a piece of art in a gallery or like something with like textiles or fabrics or anything like that, to have something tangible, that's something that exists outside just the spirit or whatever, it like goes like such a long way to like have that human connection.
Yeah. And I think I said it before, maybe on the pod or not. It's generational. My great grandma sewed. And she used to make quilts for us my whole life. She lived to be 100 and she was still sewing quilts up until like her 90s. And so I grew up sleeping underneath her quilts that she made my entire life.
It was seeping in.
And it's like an heirloom almost. Yeah. And it's just this part of my family and my life. And so now when I make something, I'm like, damn, I made this. And I get the feeling she's like in that product through me.
In
so
process,
like woo-woo sounding.
You're
but
channeling her.
Real.
Yeah. There is a lot to say for like tradition that's passed down like through like a family lineage. Yeah. Like one thing I've kind of wanted to get into is like brewing, because my grandpa on my dad's side was a moonshiner. And you know, my dad knows how to do like that kind of stuff, like the homebrew thing.
Sweet.
Which, you know, it's, you know, in the most legal above the book way to do something like that, right? But also, you know, my grandpa's time was very different. Sure. But I would like to learn more about that kind of like essence of what kind of like made the family line like a little unique or special, or like what was the way that they approached creation. And like, I get it a little bit with like, you know, my pops and my uncle being into the music thing, which is like, they're really the only ones in my family that have that sense of musicality. So it's kind of like, wow, that I just like lucked out.
Yeah, I feel that. For me, it's like I didn't learn Spanish, and that side of the family is all very like, and that was been like a regret of mine. And then randomly, I picked up a sewing machine. No one's ever taught me nothing, and then it seems like a natural gift that I have. And my only excuse for that is like that's her. In me, like that's what she's given me. That's my personal way I can connect with her. Beside the things that I wish I could have connected with her on.
And that's probably why you're feeling that as well, you know, rather than some other thing.
I'm like, this is the best way I can connect with her.
Yeah, exactly.
How good was that when, you know, you put that collection out there and there was just not a friend or family member, but a rando who went in, saw it, bought it. I mean, how good
was crazy. And it was the perfect storm of I'm creating for me. But maybe I could use the money. So I'm going to post it. And I was feeling, this isn't going to do shit. Like I always am, the negative. I was like, this isn't going to sell. No one's going to fuck with it. And then for them all to instantly sell by like randoms, it was validating, but not validating because I wasn't looking for that.
That felt good.
But it did. I was very like, whoa, okay, this is something. And then that only like fed the feeling of like, this is what I'm meant to do. Because of my great way.
It's validate. Nothing wrong with a bit of validation.
It felt very
Nothing
like,
wrong
this
with
is
it.
right.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, we're pivoting again.
Yes.
Did you get the email off Jack's people before we got together?
I did, yeah.
And there was, I didn't sign it. It was just your people got to with our people.
Yes.
And they were saying there was a couple of things. No, basically said everything's on the table.
Yeah, was there anything they told you not to talk about?
No,
that
they
you'd like
said
to
go
talk
for
about?
it, right?
Oh, no, I saw a couple of things.
What was it?
And
they say don't mention.
No, I'm not.
Trousers?
What about them?
What about them?
Well, I love these trousers.
Thank you. Form and
do.
function.
Yes.
You know.
Is that what you wanted to talk about actually?
Trousers. I think trousers are under talked about.
I think so. I think the terminology is underutilized for sure.
Well, for me, it's funny because it is. Fuck it, we're into it now. It's funny because you say trouser. Let me get my words out. like you said, the terminology is different. Like we say pants, you say trousers. To me, trouser, I don't know if it's just because of the British English trousers. It feels like it should be a more proper pant. It seems like trousers should be the equivalent of a dress pant.
Or a dress pant. Yeah, like it's dress or like,
but
something
y'all
with like
call
pleats.
them everything.
It's got to have like a crease.
Homie is literally wearing sweatpants and you're calling them trousers.
Yeah, I wouldn't call those trousers.
I would not.
TBH, just sweatpants
I call
or
them
joggers.
Joggers is great. I think joggers. I would definitely jog in these.
Yeah.
I have something to say.
Go.
I'm calling Rich out. I think trousers is his word.
What do you mean by that? Is it?
She got me.
Is it trousers? No!
Very good. Very good.
I had to.
Yeah. What the fuck is he on about?
And you
trousers?
were so random with it, and you were so giddy when you said it.
He's like, so how about those trousers? So, not to like keep putting you on the spot, but there's this musician that I heard you're like really into, the one who was played by a monkey in the movie.
Robbie.
What's his name?
Yeah, Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams. So what's his deal?
What's his deal?
Yeah, what's his deal? What makes him so appealing?
So special.
Because I'm completely like blind. I know nothing about this primate.
Yeah, as ignorant Americans, please educate.
I want to know the nitty gritty
of the Robster.
The nits
of the Rob tales. The Rob Lord.
Have you not seen the movie?
No, I just know where he's like, your ass is mine. He's like, for the next 2 hours, your ass is mine. Sorry if my, I don't want to be offensive.
It's based off a real performance now.
Well, yeah. Robbie was in Take That. He was like OG Brit boy band.
Okay, cool.
He's like the
time.
Harry Styles of over there.
Of over there.
Harry Styles.
Who happens also to be from
Sorry.
over there. But he was just like, they were the boy band of my age.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they're kind of like, he's kind of like the Nick Lachey of the Brits.
Sure.
I don't know.
There you go. So he doesn't know.
Exactly.
It makes sense.
Exactly. So he is. So you're familiar with
Nick Lachey was married to who?
Jessica Simpson.
That's it.
And now he's with Vanessa Lachey.
Okay.
So Nick Lachey was in this boy band 98 Degrees with his brother.
Yep.
And then there was this other dude. There's 4 of them. One of them kind of just like chills now. I don't know his name, obviously.
It's like Destiny's Child.
And then the other one, the one that wasn't his brother, ended up doing this like Broadway show where it was like a dramatized like storytelling about like Chippendales dancers.
Okay.
Classic.
And then, Nick Lachey obviously has his empire, his evil empire, shout out Rage Against the Machine, based around dating shows like Love is Blind, The Ultimatum.
Yes.
Just like sloppy young professional dating lifestyle stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
However you make your money.
Also audition
Exactly.
for that
Hey,
one.
like, some of us create dating shows. Some of us have a CGI monkey portray us in a biopic.
Yeah. I liked that angle though.
Yeah.
Loved it. When you watch the movie, and I watched it because I grew up as I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I went
It's okay.
take that.
Grew up.
Yeah.
No, of course.
We'll cut that one.
Mid-90s. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That heavy influence on me was Take That. Yeah.
Well, like from my limited understanding, I know like he maybe perceived himself as an animal, and so he felt the best way to perceive his like chaotic nature.
Yeah.
And his bad boy energy.
Rich, you said it was something like, because you actually knew or you looked into it or you watched the movie, so you know it was like he's the dancing monkey.
Yeah.
Dance
performing
monkey
monkey.
dance type
That's
thing.
how
Oh,
he
yeah.
felt
And that's why
within the
he
industry.
decided to do the monkey thing.
And it's like, it's cool to embody it in that way. And I also feel like that's a phenomenon that's really specific to like the boy band factory, I guess, for lack of a better term.
No, that's a good term.
Because it is interesting, in like the early aughts, late 90s, we had this like surge of boy bands in the States, which was like pretty prevalent. And then obviously One Direction, kind of like that whole like British invasion thing.
Who are they?
Obviously.
Yeah, I know you want to talk about them a little more.
And as I was saying,
Yeah. But I don't know. I think like there was like this one time I was at this like research conference in Memphis talking about like music related stuff. And one person's presentation was about the boy band factory and like how this formula that we created in the States of like putting these hot dudes together and making them all sing and do a little dancey dance and whatever. Other cultures have like really taken that and like turned it into like they've almost like industrialized like the boy band formula.
like K-pop.
K-pop.
K-pop,
That's the example they utilize.
Insane.
And like,
industry.
yeah. And like another example, like, I mean, I love this band, but like Parcels, right?
Okay.
We saw them
We just saw him.
this past week. Great band. One of my favorites. They're like kind of like a boy band.
I literally was watching them. I'd never seen them live, barely heard their music, and I think I turned to you, and I was like, it's giving boy band.
They're a boy band. They're all very handsome. They're a little
Yes.
flamboyant. They're in touch with their masculine feminine dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. It's like this like soft androgyny and relatability. And it's like, you know, I think it's like you have a formula of like a group of attractive androgynous people doing music.
Yeah.
And it appeals.
But they weren't manufactured, put together. No, they found, were they?
Well,
I don't know.
to an extent, Daft Punk did produce like some of their early singles. And so you could argue that I wouldn't say they're plants or anything like that. I don't like throwing around that terminology at all.
Right.
But I do think they had something special that like maybe Daft Punk recognized, and they're like, okay, let's like prop this up a little bit.
Would you like that? I mean, if someone looked over in your direction and were like, these guys, we could give them a boost, a prop up.
I mean, like I would like, with the state of the industry, any like advantage you can get is not going to be.
Not going to turn it down.
It's not a negative as long as it doesn't like compromise like your own like moral integrity, right?
Right.
I don't think anyone's going to look at Pink Beds and be like, oh, look at all these like young strapping bucks.
Exactly.
We're all like in our
Pretty
30s
boys.
and stuff. So,
Well, can I say quickly on the boy band thing? It's like the boy band factory. I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, it's like teenage girls are the culture.
Yeah.
They run the culture.
Yep.
And that is why, unbeknownst to certain people, even like Simon Cowell creating One Direction, it's like, I don't know what this thing is, but I know they're going to make me money. It's because teenage girls are going to
Know
love
your market,
them.
yeah.
And then the flip side of that is people are going to then make fun of teenage girls for obsessing over them so hard that they're always in the zeitgeist. They're always getting talked about negatively or positively. And that is why it's such a massive
Creating
thing.
discussion.
It's like Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber. It still
Yeah.
happens to this day with everyone. Right now, it's like we're in the more of the like feminist uproar. Woo, go ladies, right? And it's like the Sabrina Carpenter, the Taylor Swift, all these Billie Eilish, all these women are running the mega charts, you know, and it's because I think the young women, instead of obsessing over boy bands, it's shifted to like powerful independent women type vibe.
Yeah.
But it's like whatever the teenage girls are into, jump on that train.
I mean, it's
what everyone's doing.
It's very telling that the first lyric and the first single from One Direction is "You're insecure."
Don't know what for.
Don't know what for. Yeah, you're not like other girls.
You're
Even
not
though
like
you
other girls.
you're insecure.
They
but,
literally have a song back to like the first hour of this pod where they said, "You're so pretty when you cry, when you cry." Yeah. And it's literally that whole
It's
shit.
like the sensibility of like how do you write something that is relatable to the masses and vague enough to where you don't have. It's like little moments of specificity. You know, like you could like come up with something so vague anyone can relate. Specialized, pretty face. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
you
but
know.
don't you think there's an argument for there's room and space for everybody? There's a market for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I
is.
said earlier.
And
sure.
you know, it's maybe there's a little element of creative or music snobbery, looking down your nose and like, well, that's not my sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it does hit with other people.
Exactly.
So there's room for everyone.
Yeah,
also-
I think it's cool to play into niche like markets and stuff, and it's good to have universal appeal.
Yeah.
I think specifically with the boy band or like the
Love a boy band.
Yeah, I mean, I love a boy
girl
band too,
band.
dog. Don't get me started. But like, I think there is something to be said about universal appeal that preys on insecurity.
Okay.
Because it's like
I'd
something
say more on
everyone
that.
can relate to.
I think it's like the idea of like, not to like just keep dunking on One Direction because I like One Direction, but it's like the whole thing, like, you know, like you don't know this about yourself, but that's what makes you so great. Like you don't know your worth, and that's what I like about you, type thing.
Do you think it's that it's so tactical?
I mean, it is
Is
tactical.
that-
It's
It definitely is.
it's industrialized. Like it's like literally like in a boardroom, they're coming up with these things that are going to appeal. And like, please let me defer to you because
Thank you, please. The One Direction expert in the
Bring her in.
Why are you guys all talking? I don't get it. No, it's like early days of One Direction. It was, they admit, you know, they had people writing for them because they were 16, 17, 18 years old when they started. They'd never written a song in their life. They auditioned for a fucking singing competition TV show. So when they blew the fuck up because they were pretty boys, they're like, we don't know what we're doing. So they had all these producers and writers write their entire first 2 albums. So then as they got older and they got more like, we don't want to appeal to 12-year-olds anymore. We're in our 20s.
Sure, okay.
They started writing their own songs for the band. And it was a mix of their own writing and these other writers.
Right.
And then they got older, and then that's why they eventually faded out, because they were like, we're 25, our fans are still 14. Some are now our age because they've grown with us, but it was like, it doesn't align anymore with what we want.
So it's a very small window.
It's a small
that they
window.
have to take advantage of.
Yeah, and they did take advantage. And of course, what 16-year-old boy doesn't love mass women attention?
And is that the producer's nightmare? Like, they've put this band together, they invested heavily, they're writing, everyone's getting together and writing these, you've got to sing this.
They getting their money.
They made their bag.
They getting their money off of that shit.
But they know, they know there's
even
a life
the producers
expectancy.
can probably live off
Well, it's also
bag forever.
Also just going off of this like specific case study of like the boy band industrialization, right? Is like they knew like they had some people they could pluck out of that and turn into like a mature superstar. It's like what they did with NSYNC and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
Or your boy Robbie Williams, right? It's like they're like, you know, we can appeal to like the little tweeny boppers when they're all like teenagers and it's all like above the board. But having a boy band of like, you know, late 20-year-olds playing to 14-year-olds, that's whack vibes.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you capitalize as much as you can on like the
Early
hysteria.
on, right.
And then once it becomes a point where it feels weird to have that dynamic, you take one, maybe two of them, and you pluck them out and you create a whole career around them, which is why Justin Timberlake had such a really crazy rise, because he also like pivoted genres and did more like the R&B thing and had Pharrell and all that stuff on there.
But you kind of want the when they do their own solo career, you kind of like stay with this label.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times these people are like signed to contracts where it's like
forever,
regardless of like the band, right? There's also individual contracts. So it's like your next couple solo releases are also going to be on the label and stuff like that. So it really is just like people illustrate labels by like banks, but it's like a bank will like make you pay it back in a timely fashion. A label doesn't care. They will shelf you and they will like keep you like generating royalties for them until you're like completely broke.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
go on. You go. No, please.
I was just going to wrap up the One Direction thing quickly.
Go.
In defense.
With like, it's like Harry and Niall, for example. They had the most successful solo careers currently. And with One Direction, if you don't know, they auditioned as individuals on X Factor, the singing, it's like American Idol. And they all got denied. They got sent home. And in the back room, when they were waiting to get sent home, they were looking at all the photos of them. And they said, what if we took this one and this one? This one's more, like this one sings horribly.
Okay.
This one sings okay. This one sings great. Not good enough. But what if we took all these mediocre singers and put them together because they look good together?
Right.
Maybe we can make a successful band. And that's what they did. They said, just kidding, don't go home, but come back as a band. Of course, they all just said, we'll do that.
Yeah.
And then they became insane. So it was like, they literally only picked them because of how they looked. They didn't even sing that good in the early days.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Let's go back to the driving license and the Bieber fade. let's approach that. Let's discuss it. Let's approach that young man.
Yeah.
And like your approach to be boy band. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you saying at that point? Are you up for it?
I think it would really depend on the context. Like for me, it's like when I think of like a boy band is not always like 5 attractive dudes doing like pop stuff. Like I think it could, like that's why I'm saying like Parcels is a boy band and stuff like that too. Or like you could argue like a group like the 1975 or like the Neighborhood or whatever, all that Tumblr
Arctic
era
Monkeys and shit,
malarkey, where it's like I think for me being in a group of like 5 strangers that had that like look would be challenging. But if it was a situation where there was that personal connection already built and everything like that.
And the big suitcase of money.
Right. I mean, that helps a lot for sure. I'm at that age too. I wouldn't even like second guess it. Like after like learning about the industry and knowing like more about it, that would be like a red flag to me, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But also it's one of those things like, you don't know how you're going to react until you see the bread in front of you, like physically, you know? But I mean, at that era of my life, I wasn't really listening to a lot of boy band stuff. It was more like, R&B, hip hop. Like that whole like witch house thing, like the Purity Ring stuff, Grimes. So I mean, it was like Tumblr adjacent. I had my time on Tumblr and it did its work on me for sure. But
I think it's just like with anything, it's like if you get approached with something that is a guarantee that your life is going to flip entirely
in a massive way.
It's hard to say no. If we were approached by, I don't even know, Spotify, something, and it was an insane deal, but there was something that we were like, if they got the rights
we had to compromise,
the name or something,
right,
we probably would still say yes, or it would be a hard decision just because the money and the fame and the whatever. Yeah. Even if it's shit that you're like, I don't care, but if it's presented in front of you and it's this easy, just say yes.
Dude,
it's like just fucking hard to say no.
And especially when it's like in conflict with like moral standing and shit like that. Right. Where it's like you get a bag from someone who can like change your life for the better. Yeah. But you have to compromise your integrity and stuff to do it.
And you're always kind of thinking of the future, where it's like these days, back to the reality shows, a lot of people go on those just to become a influencer or a figure after. You know, it's like the Bachelor, Bachelorette. You're not in this for the right reasons. Right. It's because you're going to get on TV. Yeah. Brands are going to work with you after. So it's like, I'll do this thing that might compromise my integrity right now. Right. Yeah. And then it's going to help me later.
Pivot, you know?
Yeah. But it's kind of like, what else have I got going on? Mm-hmm. You know, it depends also the disparity of your circumstances. It's like, okay, we're doing a podcast in a small room and stuff versus what you're throwing us. For me, it's a hard yes, depending on what I'm compromising. You know, there's not a lot I don't feel we can compromise on that would make me say
right
no.
Now, it's chips.
It's small chips.
And it's like, what's the foundation of like your integrity and your ideology? Because like, if you're approached with like a big old bag from a company, and it's like the only reason you're against the company is from like some performative thing of like trying to like virtue signal to other people, that's gonna crumble real quick, you know. And I think a lot of people want to like be like integrity over money every day because that's like the righteous human like thing to do, but it's like, I don't know, bro, you get like hit with like 9 figures, that's tough to
right now. I think it's stupid to not. It's like, it's all be aware money is kind of the most important thing. It's so insane right now.
Well, it's the fuel for freedom for a lot of people.
Unless a company is doing like insanely morally wrong things, then obviously say no or whatever you want to do, but like it would be stupid of you to turn it down. It's like irresponsible at this point in time.
As long as it doesn't question the fabric of yourself, like fundamentally. If they're just saying to us, dudes, you've just got to tone down the swearsies.
Or I'm not going to partner with a right-wing fucking...
Ain't doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, stuff like that.
That's a hard no. I have a number, but also have my...
exactly. It's like you got to balance the weight of the spirit and everything like that.
It's like you asked me that time on an ep, like if Smosh came to you and was like, come join our crew, but you had to leave the pod, what would you do? And I was like, Rich, see you later. I have to go.
Smosh. Oh, that's a throwback. I used to watch a lot of them.
I love Smosh these days. But I was like, I would have to. It just would make sense.
Dude, I would never stand in your way.
I said, and also, once I'm on there and I have a bit of leg room, into your little I can be like, let's bring Rich back.
Yeah, someone I know.
Let's do a pod.
Let's bring him in for an ep.
It would only help us. It would only help us.
Exactly. Yeah, it's tricky with stuff like that nowadays, especially because so much stuff is already like the infrastructure of like modern like influencer stuff is like so set up that a lot of these people who are big on like YouTube and like Twitch and stuff are supported by like management companies that are backed by like big conglomerates like Amazon and Disney.
Yeah.
So that's something you also got to keep in mind too.
Yeah, I see that, and I see how that's how things work. That's the mechanics of it, and you have to bend to it. But
and you hope other people can see it too when you do it.
Right.
They don't just think you're a sellout or like you're being problematic just because maybe the company is a bit
and
problematic.
There's ways to like pursue opportunity and still like balance it out. Like, you know, if you're getting money from a company that has like some illicit activity, if it's not in like full opposition to your ideology, it's like you can definitely like still like use some of the money to like support causes that you're passionate about and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
That's what I would love is the opportunity to have money to do something fucking good with it.
You see it all the time with like women who are where it's like they're doing OnlyFans or they're doing something that's like what it's like. I'm putting my own shit aside because I'm gonna make that bag. I'm gonna make money off these people that I know are gonna give me money for this shit, even if I don't agree. It's like I'm doing it for the better good.
I'm parking I'm parking that part about myself for the greater good. And then what do they doing with the money, you know,
Right.
maybe.
It's like I need to start an OnlyFans to support my grandma's cancer.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
That's a very real thing.
Yeah, and a lot of that is also like I think people are sold the idea that you can reach financial independence from going through some of these avenues, but a lot of times it's like such a small percentage of people are actually able to make that much money to where they can like support those causes.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
so it's just
It's a numbers game.
Exactly.
I mean, we've been going for nearly a year on the pod, 0 cents. Dollars, right?
Yeah.
Come in.
Oh, yeah, dude.
For the love of the game.
We're not in it
Love
for
of the
that.
game.
Exactly. But that's an example of like people like who start podcasts just to make money. It's like, that's not the way to do it. And we had those conversations before we even started where I was like, not for the money, not for the money, or not for the whatever. Like keep that at the forefront.
Yeah.
Because you can so easily get lost. And then your decisions start being made because of the potential of the money.
Yeah.
And then you're so slowly losing the authentic
Yes.
self.
Well, isn't that the creative's life, though?
Yes,
you know,
it is.
for
The
us doing
sewing,
this and for you
everything.
being in the band, it's like, you start off with all just pure intentions of doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah, there's no bread involved. Yeah.
No, you're going to do it anyway. It's
Yeah.
like the obscene amount of money that's in sports.
Yeah.
You know, those guys are getting
they're-
get insane
And it's so
money.
much time and dedication you have to put in just to get there. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
way they're doing it just for the money.
Yeah, but if you say, right, if suddenly the money's taken away from that, these guys would still play.
Yeah.
Because they love the sport.
Yeah.
They would still do it.
But that's a messy category because I've met people or, you know, my age or younger, older, where like their parents maybe are setting them up to then set them up because they know
A retirement investment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then their
Right.
parents are pushing them because they want them to go pro.
What do you think about that?
I think that's wackadoodle.
Well, yeah, sports
anything.
especially it's a short game because it relies on your physical health, and the second you get like a catastrophic injury,
Yeah. Like
You're
30
done.
is old as fuck. in
yeah,
the
with
sports
music you don't
world.
really got to worry about that unless you get like arthritis or overdose or anything.
Yeah.
As long as you get past 27, you're
You're
sweet.
right. You would think so. Yeah,
I think
for
it's
sure.
weird for parents to do that in any regard, if
Yeah.
money is the outcome or not. Like,
Yeah.
you shouldn't be pushing shit on your kids.
Well, it's-
That's
yeah.
not the reason you have the kids.
Well, it's like when you have like kids doing like those toy unboxing videos on YouTube,
Ryan's
and it's like,
Toys.
do you
I've
think?
talked
Yeah,
about this.
I mean, yeah, shout out him.
Yeah,
but I'm
shout
like,
out.
damn, like, do you think this boy loves opening boxes of toys every day of his life?
And then it's also like, that's why like child stars, they had to enact not too long ago that law where it was like parents, because you know, if you have a child actor and they're 8 years old, they're not legally an adult. They can't run their own bank accounts.
Yeah,
So their
no.
parents were running all their shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a majority of child actors, the parents were just taking all their money.
Sure.
Taking their money, leaving
And
them alone
then,
on set.
yeah, when they were 18,
Yeah.
it was like, I have no money.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened? It's because their parents used it all.
I'm your manager.
But now there's a law in place where you have to set aside a certain amount that gets unlocked
Right.
when they turn
That,
18.
Heard of
yeah.
this, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that way you avoid like Macaulay Culkin,
Yeah,
Jeanette McCurdy type
yeah,
stuff.
all that shit.
And it's just that's the thing that's gross is like with that industry, you get a lot of people who are like predatory and stuff
For
like
sure.
that.
And the parents
Yeah.
know it
That's the thing,
and
dude.
go along with it because
Yeah.
they're getting money.
And that's the
Yeah,
only thing that's
yeah.
worse than like a predatory executive or someone who's like preying on people who are weaker than them is like the people who are supposed to be your caretakers who allow it to happen because they're getting paid to support their own like little ego trip.
I think it's just, it's such a thing we could get so into, you know, me with kids and parents and stuff. There's like
Yeah.
right reasons to have kids, wrong reasons to have kids. And a lot of
Yeah.
people, unfortunately, I think are having them for no reason or the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
There's very few having them for the right reasons. And you can see that in every action that they take with their kid, whether they're at a small scale, pushing them to do fucking T-ball and going crazy on sports,
Yeah.
or they're in child acting and they're taking advantage of their kids' money and stuff. It's like at all levels, you can see who got in it for the right reason or not.
Yeah.
And it's just like scary. You're working with this is a human.
Yeah.
This is a little human.
Yeah.
Not your plaything.
Do you
Yeah.
think, though, I mean, I can't speak from any experience.
I mean, either. This
I
is
mean,
just what I...
We're all on the same page
Yeah.
with that, right?
Yeah, like, I can't say if I was put into that situation where, you know, part of me is like, this is a small part of me, and I want to give this human as much opportunity as perhaps I didn't have. And I think that's quite a
For
natural
sure.
instinct is
Yeah.
to say, okay, I missed out in these areas due to whatever.
Yeah.
But it's now I'm in a position to give this child
or you
of
see
my
their potential.
Well, that's
But are you then living your life through them?
Well,
I don't. You know,
I think
it's
wanting the best for your children and wanting them to find success in their truth is different than trying to capitalize off a child.
Exactly.
That is a financial investment to have, right?
But it is partially a fine line in certain
Yeah, it's tricky because like it trickles into a point where you're like, you want to do it for them, but then like with the bread starts rolling in, you're like,
too tempting.
Or what is really for them? Is it how much can you actually separate yourself from your kid to where you can say it's 100% for them, and not for me?
So if they were to say everyone had got into a position where this kid is about to make bank, and they've got the contracts come in, it's about to happen, and the kid is still a kid and just says, you know what, I'm bored of this, I don't want to do it. What's the parents at that point going, you know, I support your decision.
Are they saying, no, honey, you've invested all this time and you're so good at it? That can be true, but it also could have an underlying thing
for them.
to it too. Yeah.
I think there's a difference between like you need to do this like one specific thing because of what it is, besides like what it represents. Like for me, it wasn't like a thing of like we want you to be an athlete. It was more of this thing of like we think that being on a team can develop these like human skills of like camaraderie and like teamwork
and
mentality.
It worked for them.
Definitely.
Yeah, but you can definitely develop in other skill sets. I mean, I will say it's harder to develop that in like a band where it's all like sensitive people.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like that's coming from like someone who's like worked with artists on like professional levels and been in bands and stuff. It's just like a lot of really sensitive types. And it's like you want people to feel validated, but at the same time, it's just like a lot trickier to navigate it in that environment than it is like a sports thing where it's like it don't matter what you feel because at the end of the day it just matters what the end like score is of the game.
There's like good lessons, like I said at the beginning of the app, to learn in everything. Like sure, the sports you can learn the group, the teamwork mentality, but also being a loner or being whatever more sensitive, being lone wolf, like you can learn a lot from that too. And like I'd argue just the same, like just as valuable as the group stuff. Learning how to deal with your own shit and being alone and navigating your own brain is also just as important as knowing how to interact and work as a group.
And some people are more inclined to thrive in a group setting.
Yeah, that team spirit thing.
And other people like, maybe they're going to do why do we look at the lone wolf and the person that's isolated or the person why do we look at that negatively? Why? Right. Why is that?
I think it's just as humans, we're inherently looking for community
right,
and connection. So therefore when someone is not, it's like, what are you doing? Don't you want to fit in? Or it's like a panic moment of like, no, we all have to get along. We all have to coexist.
For the good of the group.
So then it feels like, what's going on?
And then like simultaneously, like specifically like in America, I feel like there's this like really like intense fervor around like the individual, like LeBron James or like what, you know what I mean? Like that whole, like what like LeBron symbolizes, right? The individual that like makes himself distinct beyond like the collective
beyond
human spirit.
The group. Okay.
Individuality, being unique, being special.
Whereas like in a lot of other like societies, it's way more based upon like communal like mentality and like shared consciousness and things like that. And that's why like if you go to like other countries, you see people aren't really like so eager to make themselves like stand out from a crowd.
Yeah,
no,
it's all just.
That's what I learned coming here is because there's so many of you.
Well, everyone in the States is everyone's a star here.
Yeah,
you know, because it's like really
you're sold that dream of.
Exactly, it's like I'm a star. I deserve to be like fucking successful and rich like, or whatever. Yeah,
I'm so 50-50 on that. Maybe more one way, but like everyone's individual. Yes, everyone, all this shit, but like. We also have to coexist, and no one is like special. That's the difference. That's the word. It's like you're not more
better than you.
Or better.
Yeah.
But yes, do your thing, have your thing, feel empowered in your own shit, but also know how to coexist.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, don't just be super special.
And people have just leaned in
too far.
The judgment of
it's
other
the extremes
people.
Again, isn't it?
Yeah. You don't have to like sacrifice like fellow man for like the sake of your own like individual like splendor, dude. And it's like that should be like a vehicle for you to like prop other people up at the end of the day. But it's like It's the same thing with like when we're talking about getting a bag from a company, right? You can like talk like ethics and like ideology all you want, but when you're faced with the temptation, like what you gonna do?
It's always like that's my big problem with the country currently is just like me versus them.
Yeah,
everyone has that, or it's like if I can't, or if you have that, that means I don't have it, and that's not true. Right. You know, we've said that before.
It's not a zero sum.
And it's not.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, a lot of us have a bunch of nothing.
Literally. Like,
well,
what are
the majority.
What are we arguing over?
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like what the hell? Is there anything, Jack, that any topic that you wanted to get into?
I mean, I think we covered a lot of stuff that I was expecting to cover.
I think I'll pivot slightly. When I first met you, Jack, it was like you were just Aaron's friend, yada yada, and then I got to know you better. I remember my first comparison. I was like, you reminded me a little bit of my brother in certain ways.
He's also an Aries, right?
He is an Aries. Yeah.
I'm an Aries.
Hey, I know.
Oh my God, I'm surrounded.
I know, crazy.
And it was just like not even anything you said. It was just a feeling. And I was like, he's giving my brother. And you've always just been that forever. And then, you know, we got to know each other more. And you love to bullshit. You love to shoot the shit. You love to talk out of your ass, which I also love. But in a way that is like, my biggest thing I always say is you have to be smart to be funny. So I clocked that immediately where I was like, he knows what he's doing.
Right.
He's smart with his jokes. And in the way that like, you can bullshit with me and I can take it.
But keep up.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
So we always kind of had this like different relationship than like me and Santina, you and Santina, me and Aaron, you and Aaron. We have a side one that does feel kind of
cool.
sibling.
It takes a lot of brain power to make yourself sound stupid, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like some people it comes naturally, obviously. I will say. But like...
There's not a lot of thought because that's the point.
Yeah, well, it's like... For me, it's like... I think humor is one of the easiest ways to connect with people.
Same.
And because it like transcends like a lot of other signifiers of like people's like character.
And it's a good gauge.
Yeah. And it's like a good way for me to determine like you can start off very like surface humor.
Right.
And just like get people kind of engaged with what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as like your connection grows with them, you can kind of like drop in a little thing here and there.
Push the boundaries a little bit more.
Just see like what you can not get away with because that implies malice, right? But just like what the wiggle room is, right? Where someone's like comedic spirit sitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
for you, it was very like when you started busting my balls on things, it was instead of my first reaction being like, that was rude or I'm sad, it was like, wait a second. Because the thing that you had just said was you were pointing out something that I had talked about previously or told you. And it was like a way to say, I heard you and I learned this thing about you. And instead of just saying it outright, I'm going to make a joke of it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
bring it back.
This motherfucker is making fun of this thing that I said the other day about me. Or like, if I'm in a down mood, Jack's always like, you know, I fuck with you, right?
Right.
Because I can tell he's picking up on my vibes.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, he's the same in that way where we're both kind of like, we'd be going through it sometimes.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like I try to be open about like where my head's at in a lot of things. And so when I can sense someone's like maybe not holding back, but like maybe is like kind of like hesitant about like certain like sorts of conversations, I'm like, come on, like what's up? Like, you know, because it's like, you know, I like at the end of the day, it's like what Sab was saying, like, it's not like I'm like saying these things to like hold an insecurity and dangle it in front of you. It's like an awareness.
I see it.
Let me ask you both like a two-part question.
Yeah.
Like about humor. Obviously, you're both sharp and you have this wit.
Please keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. They paid me. I got my bag earlier to say that.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad my agents like told you that.
Yeah. Say this about Jack. So like how I want to know where that humor came from. Did you develop that yourselves? Like at what point did you inherit it? Is there like, or did you something you developed yourselves? And how do you use it? How do you use your humor? How have you used it?
Yeah.
And would you swap it for any other trait, or are you quite happy?
Okay.
Go.
I'll start.
Who's on?
I'll start. For me, let me start from the end of your question to the beginning. I wouldn't trade it.
No, I will say I wouldn't either.
The sense of humor, and I love who I get to connect with because of that sense of humor. Like Jack, for example, like we get it. There's an unspoken thing. It's like, you got it. I think mine stems from this kind of, I grew up very observant as a child.
Yes.
I was always the quiet in the corner, just looking, observing, taking it all in. I also got along with adults at a very young age because I was always observing and I was clocking everything and I was kind of honing in on this wit and stuff. And I also feel like I have a lot of potential or intelligence that I'm not using in other ways. It all filters in to my humor, I think. And for me, it's more of I said before, a gauge of people and a very hard and quick way to test if someone is going to get along with me or not. Let me rip this Band-Aid off. Let me get in there, punch you, and see how you're going to react.
Yeah, if that's not going to work, then it's just not going to work.
Yeah, and you can tell a lot from someone by how they react to a certain joke. It's not just like, oh, you look stupid today. That's not a joke. It's very like literally like certain things I can't even think. Like Jack will say something and I'm like, this fucking idiot. And it's like he's seeing something in me that he knows that I see. Okay. And maybe I'm trying to like, It's more of also a self-protective
I was going to ask
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not like the trope of the fat kid that has to be funny. That's like a thing. I'm going to make fun of myself before first. You can.
I'll get in first. I'll punch myself down before you do.
It's not necessarily that. It's more of like I fear that I'm projecting these bad traits, and before you can pick up on them, I'm going to dog myself first.
Like a self-deprecating.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like, is that for a form of acceptance?
I think it's a little bit. It gives you the self-aware characteristic to like move into a space without like coming
like,
in on a pedestal.
Here I am.
Yeah, it's like I know I'm sounding self-absorbed, and I know I'm sounding self-absorbed.
Yeah, and it's just like
so you know I'm
it's just
aware.
like let's get this shit out the way that like is a little like unflattering
it's
about
like
myself.
Jack earlier when he's like, and humble too, that kind of shit.
Yeah, which
like,
to be fair,
doing.
not to like interrupt you, but I do consider myself a very humble individual and empathetic. So
this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think there's certain moments where I can recognize like I'm half kidding, right?
Yes.
I think there's moments of like the awareness, like I'm not always humble all the time, I'm not always egotistical all the time.
No,
but it's like a way to like make light of like maybe some of these traits in yourself.
Yes,
and like understand like I don't have to be humble all the time. I don't have to be egotistical all the time.
Yeah.
There's wiggle room
part
there,
of
right?
Me. You'll see some of this, and you'll see some of this.
And like I think with like my relationship with humor as well as Sav's, there's a lot of similarity there because I think a lot of humor is developed with a lot of people. A, trauma is a big thing. B, I think being surrounded by people who are much older than you. Like when I was growing up, my folks would have like dinner parties at their house and stuff like that and have a bunch of like older people hanging around.
Right.
And like, about halfway through the dinner, like, hey, Julia, Jack, let's like go out and like meet all these people. And we weren't like your boy Robbie Williams doing like the little chimpanzee like symbol thing or anything, but it could feel like that sometimes where it's like
to impress them.
Well, it's just like after
how can you perform kind of deal.
Well, to an extent, I mean, it was like a place of like, how do I express my authenticity in a way that registers to people who are like in a completely different headspace than I am, especially because like a lot of these people they were hanging out with were like academics and stuff like that. And they're like the types of people who appreciated wit. And also, kind of like some of the tropes that Sam was talking about. Growing up, obviously my like mental state is atypical, I think, from a lot of people my age at that time. And I think I was like faced with like a little bit of ridicule from that. I mean, I know I like definitely dished it out on other people and like other people had it worse and
stuff.
That's
how it goes, isn't it?
But yeah, I wouldn't say it was like a full blown, like, let me make like a complete fool of myself. But I think it was a way for me to like express my character in a way that like was registering without having to be performative in other ways. Right.
And then when you get a few laughs, it's pretty good, isn't it?
I mean, it's a good
you
feeling,
get a few laughs,
right?
And then that's like, I'll do that again.
And you got to draw the line about like, where does it stop? Where are the laughs not worth it?
It's hard.
You know what I mean? It's like a self-aware, self-deprecation is one thing, but to just like be beating up on yourself and like tearing yourself down for the sake of other people's laughter, that's not really like building any health up. It's just like making yourself a target of ridicule.
Right.
And I mean, like, I don't know. I just like try to like transmute like stuff I went through into something that like made light of it and helped me move past it.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I'm sure you can tell, like, I'm a yapper. I be talking. Like, I remember growing up, like, all my teachers like, oh, Jackson's so smart, but he just needs to like, shut up a little bit. You know,
my report cards was always talk too much.
Yeah, talks too much, cuts up too much. Which like, I think humor is one of those things that's really tricky when you're younger because it's like it's like a muscle, right? Humor is a muscle that like takes years of like discipline and development to utilize it effectively, and a lot of times it's not like efficient when you're younger because it becomes a self-deprecation tool or a way to tear down other people.
Yeah.
And you really have to develop the self-awareness and like critical thinking before you can utilize it effectively.
Do you think the self-deprecation comes first and you're practicing on yourself before you kind of turn it around and you're like, hey, maybe I could use this
I think
as a not a weapon, but as a tool.
A way to make light of it.
Yeah.
For me, like self-deprecation came after I was deprecated by others.
Literally.
And so it's like a way of like, it's like reclaiming, right? It's like when people, want to like...
Before you get in, I'm getting in.
Right. It's like what Sab was saying, it's like kind of like a way to highlight things and make light of it so we don't have to focus on it or like not even because other people don't really think about those things.
It's more of self-awareness than self-deprecating.
Yeah. And that's a fine line too. And that comes with age and awareness too. But
it's like I said earlier, I quoted you and people might have not have known, like an inside joke. Like Jack will be saying something about himself, go on a tangent and then be like, anyways, enough about me. And that's like a joke in his way to be like, I know I just talked about myself a lot. And in a way to like, haha, I'm aware.
I'm aware of this.
Make a joke about
the
it.
awareness is key.
It's something just slight like that.
And that's the thing that I think is tricky with humor, especially when people who aren't funny try to like dive into that world because they want to be like, oh, it's just dark humor. But it's like, you're not really aware as to like why that would be humorous, especially if you're someone who like subscribes to like some of these ideas they're perpetuating.
Dude.
It's a formula. And it's like, I think humor and like, I think like one thing that is like about humor that's tricky is like the idea of doing like a stand-up bit or something like that, humiliating, traumatizing, because it has so much of that improvisational element. And like, I have a little bit of a jazz background and stuff like that, but the thought of like having to pivot on the spot if something is not working.
I was just about to ask, because what you're giving right there screams to me just stand up. His stance, like right there.
He's on a stool,
you're on one. You're on one.
Mic.
Yeah.
It
was giving stand-up comedian,
right?
Like observation. Like you were talking about, I used to stand back and observe. It's observational
That's
comedy.
What I was gonna say. For me, it's like to be witty. Also, you have to be kind of observational. That's all it is. Is like awareness. I'm not witty because I'm so smart and I'm so quick on my feet. It's because I've observed you. The past times I've talked to you or in this group that you're talking to, now suddenly you invite me into the convo. Yeah. And the first thing I say is witty because I've been observing all of you.
Yeah. And paying attention goes a long way.
Yeah. So that's what wit is. It's just observing the people. To be able to make a little jab that's going to hit. Yeah. Because it's relevant and fresh and it just happened.
Right.
And other people, they talk and talk and talk and talk. I've never been in a group setting the one that's like, and my turn. I'm always the one that's observing. So then when it comes to me or when I feel I have to speak up, it's usually because it's some witty fucking bullshit joke.
If you're coming in hard because you've been clocking it all.
It's the one thing I have to say.
Yeah.
But you're shining a light on the shit that people are like, fuck yeah. That's
And I think I got the high I got from it was as a kid with my parents' friends when they thought they knew everything because they were adults and I was 12 and they were coming to me with some advice or some whatever and I was like, you don't know I've been observing you and your drunk ass the past 3 weekends and I'm like, oh, what about this thing? And I would clock them immediately on something and they would be like, holy shit, not expecting it from a kid. And it was a shocking thing. And it would always get a laugh and I definitely rode that fucking high.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think one way to really develop your sense of humor and like that muscle, so to speak, is just like, it's like when I'm talking about music, like going out of my way to listen to music I hate. I think sometimes if you want to develop your humor, you just got to listen. You got to subject yourself to a room full of hot air being spewed around. Because it's like, it really helps you develop like understanding of people. And you can apply it like even if you're like writing dialogue or something like that. If you just sit in a room of hot air and just listen to people say like dumb shit, that's going to be like way more telling than, just like trying to like figure out what makes a joke work. And it's the same thing with music. You're going to like, instead of emulating stuff you like, if you go out of your way to listen to stuff you hate and realize why you hate it, it helps you develop a voice.
Exactly, appreciation.
Yeah, it's like it helps you develop a voice that's independent of just like imitation.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been plenty of times like, we're at a hang or a party or some function. Maybe Jack is also there and it's just like, oof. And like me and Jack can have an entire conversation of just backhanded, witty comments to each other, but know exactly what we're saying. Like I feel like me and Jack have had so many deep convos that are just us busting each other's balls and having bullshit.
Yeah,
that's comfort.
Yeah, but it's like I know it's
vulnerability
actually
too.
Here. Yeah, as opposed to like the stereotypical joke.
Yeah.
It's like no.
If you both can approach subjects that are uncomfortable, but you both know that hey, we're just kidding, we're poking.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna guess words.
Yes. I was about to say as we're since trousers over here.
Yeah, I gave mine. It was just ridiculous.
Have you said any of your?
I've said mine.
Really?
I don't know if Jack. I know you have probably said yours, but I could not tell.
Really? Okay. Can I see what word you used?
You want to see it? Want to reveal?
Oh, hang on. Let's have some guesses.
I don't think he's got any guesses.
I got no guesses.
I got no guesses on Jack either.
Okay. I think I did really good with mine.
You probably did. Wait, is it like authenticity?
Did you go to fade? Did you go back to fade?
I did not go back to fade. Right. I will never go back to fade.
What was yours, Chuck?
All right, let's just do a turnaround real quick. 1, 2, 3.
What is that?
Spirit.
Oh, the spirit of things.
Problematic.
Mine was problematic.
How many times did you get that in?
I did twice.
I did like 10 times.
It was perfect when y'all brought up the boy band stuff.
Well, it's just like also
I was like, problematic this, problematic that.
I picked out a word that I was like, I say it enough to where they wouldn't question it because they're like, oh, this dude's just like heady.
I think I probably picked mine because of the topic we were talking about. I don't even know because it was before.
Yeah.
I was just like, I could use this.
I could have put both those in. Easily. Trousers was different.
You picked trousers.
Trousers is very regional.
Yeah. Also, though, Rich, I know you so well. But also, like we were saying before pod, like if you have a list of something, you can't not keep thinking of it. We literally came back from the break. You got kind of red in the face. And you were like, trouser. Yeah. And you're
so let's
giggling.
talk about trousers.
Let's talk about it.
Ain't no way. It's hard for you to be coy.
But no, I was in the bathroom thinking, how the fuck can I get my word out, right? And I was like, well, let's just make this a bit. Right?
Yeah.
It was good. It was funny.
It was good. It was natural. I think if Sab didn't know you so well, it would have been like...
You would have gone for it. You were into it.
Yes,
I mean, yeah, shit.
He
was into it.
Yeah, let's talk about like,
hold on, let's rewind a couple minutes.
Yeah, let's talk about my style. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
I might have got about 4 or 5 trousers in before it was...
I know.
Rumbled a lot.
You like were boom, boom, boom,
trousers,
boom.
Trousers.
Well, guys, I think that's a good way to wrap, to end the app.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, it's great. I just love chomping it up, chewing the fat.
Yeah, this was something we talked about since the pod started. Like, you gotta come on, and then it just happened.
Mm-hmm. So hang on, Pink Bed's bingo card. So we got 2 corners in.
2.
So we've got 2 more corners to go.
Sure, maybe in like 2026.
Yeah,
there we go.
Let's
build up some anticipation.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. You can find Jack on all things if you want to find him, but obviously Pink Beds.
Yeah. Jack's on his promotional tour.
Yes, right. I have a book out. This like how to be humble.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you sign that for me?
Please? I would love to.
Gold pen. If
I wish I could write. So yeah, I mean, you can find me through like the Pink Beds social media.
Yep.
Keep an eye out for that. Art Wavy social media tags, pretty much all of them. I'm musician, thinker, feeler, empath.
Yeah. Wow.
And I love my boy Aaron.
That's right. Don't we all?
Yeah. I just wish he could hear me talk about how much I love him.
He'll listen.
Well, he will, I'm sure.
I'm sure he hears me wherever he is.
Yeah. So he's about to come home, I think.
Yeah.
Any minute now.
I'm here for... he has heard it. He has heard it.
You got to get on the mic.
Right on cue. You got to come on.
This was crazy timing.
I love you too, Jack.
Perfect.
That was crazy.
And I'm here for the boy band break off anytime this is going to happen.
Oh my God. Yeah. Tweedledee and Tweedledum for real. But yeah, thank you guys again for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Thanks for coming. And you guys know the drill. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. We're on Instagram at Tea and Toasties Pod, YouTube over at Tea and Toasties. Make sure to review this pod wherever you get your pod, and we will talk at you next week. And
TTFN.
Bye bye.
Laters.